briefly earlier, Pastor Tatum has a home over in South Fort Worth. You know, y'all know I grew up in the South Fort Worth off of Hattie and Tucker Street over there. And so, yeah, you know, and both of us went to Trimble Tech, you know, and so, you know, that was my stumping ground from block to block over there when I was a heathen.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still a heathen, but what he's doing, and what it really resonated with me is because you taking your house, you could sell it, you can rent it out, you can do, give it a tax, whatever, you can abandon it, yeah, whatever, but you choose not to do that. You choose to use that house for good. You know, and as I told you, I have a personal struggle right now in my family, that we're going through that right now. Our mother's house, and then the siblings are unsure what to do with it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm letting y'all know right now, let's turn it into a prayer room.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so y'all see it right down the street. It's happening. So it can be done. So you don't need no court. You don't need none of this trash to do good with something that's been left to you. You didn't pay a penny for it.
The value
Yes, sir.
of the land.
That's it.
They understood that God wasn't making any more land.
There you go. There you
And
go.
so the more that you acquire, the more of an inheritance
Yes,
you can leave for the next generation.
that's it.
Money goes up and down and changes,
Every day.
you know, stuff comes and goes,
Yes. Yes.
but the land.
That's there.
And so when the entire integration movement happened in Fort Worth, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, over in that area. Remember, white flight left and went to HEB and other areas.
Suburbs.
There was a lot of resentment because in the mid 50s, they didn't want them to rent or sell to black people,
Right. Okay.
right?
You see that?
And so, but our parents
Had to get a piece of it.
saw an opportunity,
Right.
and in spite the resentment and the horrific, they used to burn crosses in yards.
Well,
Over there.
we know what they did to, why can't I?
Ms. Opalee.
Right, and that's one block from where I grew up on Tucker Street,
And that's
in Hattie Street, so,
And that's
you know, my grandmother was over there.
Yeah.
And little people who know my story, you know, I lived, house to house, aunts and grandmothers, you know what I'm saying, that's how I moved around, but.
But follow me here.
Yes, sir, I got you.
So that was a older community,
Mhm.
historic community. And you know what they say about real estate, location, location, location.
Right.
You can see downtown from over there,
Exactly.
right? But the experience of those kids, us, caused us not to value that anymore. So we started migrating to other places, devaluing what mother and them left us. And so we either sold it, lost it to taxes,
Right, right,
or got into family disputes and hung it up, and so it was of no value to anyone.
exactly.
But in that whole process, you had redlining, you couldn't get insurance, you had a whole bunch of other factors. So people say, why deal with that? And they left. Well, I left too, so I'm no different. I left at 18 and then come back to 38.
That's the 20 years.
That's the 20 years. So I went to Charlton, from Charlton to North Texas, from North Texas, I spent a summer at Texas Woman's, director of the program there. Then I went down to San Marcos to Texas State now and worked in the dean's office. So I had no desire to come back to Fort Worth. Again, about that journey. And I set it up, a personality. It was all going the way I wanted to go. But it wasn't God's way. It was my way. I was being good enough
Yeah.
not to get caught.
Yeah, not to get caught. Yeah,
Right.
fair.
And God said, and then so excelling well
Mhm.
in community, in civil rights, politics. I did more public policy up at the Capitol, you know, reading and checking and making sure public policy was right, that made it to including people. So I had a splendid life with all that. but it wasn't his will.
Want his work that he wanted to be done.
Well, at least not first. You know, it says, seek ye first, Matthew 6:33, the kingdom of God, and then all that other stuff will be added.
Right.
I wanted the stuff, so I got all the stuff. And then the year was 2001. My older brother died. I had a brother who dove into a swimming pool and died. My mother was sick, she died. Grandfather died, aunt died, my brother's son died. So when 180 days, I had all this death.
180 days.
Yeah, and it was just unreal, right? And then if that didn't, you know, hurt the situation, my marriage was collapsing. I hired a man to manage, and he manipulated me out of my ministry. So I lost my marriage, my money, my ministry, my mother. You know, I was in a state of complete chaos, but I was still together because God was still with me. I mean, I wasn't doing it his way, but he was still with me because he had me on this journey.
Right, right.
And so, and I never forget my wife at the time, she got showered with gasoline. After all of that, she got showered before I got divorced. She got showered with gasoline at a pump. The thing came off. She's on city council and things. And my little son at the time, he said, call daddy, he knows what to do. Because she was panicking. So she called me. And I remember leaving, going to the gas station to check on my family because they were prolonging bringing the ambulance and everything. Long story, but
Right, right.
I was at this stoplight, and I told the Lord, this is too much.
Gotcha.
And I said, if you don't let her die, I'll do it your way.
Okay.
But I knew that if he let her live,
You got to
and
put
I
some
was
work
gonna,
in.
I was gonna do it his way, and she was gonna go the other way.
I see what you're saying.
You know, I knew that.
Right, right.
So I knew that was going to be the breaking point. God's way or her way. And a lot of men do it her way
Exactly.
instead of God's way. And then we wonder why we're in this spot, because we don't want to lose her, but we're really giving up on God.
You can preach on that all day long, me, Paul. I tell you.
That's a part of it.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you run from God.
Yeah.
You know, because you're really keeping him out of the equation. It's like you have a bunch of numbers, but you don't have a plus sign, you don't have a minus sign, you don't have an equal sign. You just
Right.
numbers running together. But when you add him to the equation, then things start setting up according to his will and his way. And so that I remember reading the Secret of the Vine by Bruce Wilkinson, and I'll recommend that book to anyone who's struggling with what God is calling them to do. And Bruce Wilkinson, in that book, it's I want to say 14, John 14, I am the tree, the vine.
Yes, sir.
And I can't get it right now, but it's all about what you connected to.
Yeah, the branch. Yeah.
But here's the part that got me, and he says, sometimes you're growing, you're glowing, but God has to come and prune you to take that off so that you can blossom.
Exactly.
And so what he was telling me, some people I'm connected with is stopping me from really blooming to what God wanted me to be. And so that became part of that journey. So he had to cut all of that off and sent me back to Fort Worth. Because I was doing well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that became, so fast forward, home 20 years, still not connected to the prayer house. I'm still not connected to my childhood home.
Right.
All the stuff I'm doing in Fort Worth, I'm still not connected. My brothers, no matter talking about family,
Yeah, yeah.
all of the family dynamics, all that's going on. And I had no desire. That was fine. I had desire for the home to become better,
Right.
but I had no desire to do that or deal with that or live with that. I mean, I'm over in Southwest Fort Worth.
Yeah.
You know,
So how when did that click? So I'm gonna try to stick to my little script. I know I'm a rabbit hole we'll take down. So you're not thinking about the prayer room, you know. Was there a light switch? Was there something that when you drove by and somebody give you the idea of texting in? How did that work?
No, I was able to get it back through taxes.
Okay, so they almost about to lose the house.
I get served by the constable that it's going on the courthouse step. And I'm embarrassed because I know my mother left me as the executive, right?
Right.
But I didn't want to fool with the family. But when that paper came to me and said, we're finna take mama's house, then I went into action.
There you go.
And that's when I saved the house. I didn't say God saved the house,
Right,
but
right.
this is what I had to do. I had to repent to mama and to God because she told me what to do. But I just didn't want to fool with it,
Right, right.
you know? And so I secured the house.
Yes,
I've been working with A&M on the coffee project for the church, but we were not going anywhere with that.
okay.
And then the staff at the youth,
Yep, York, yep, yes, sir, we're part of.
they came to me saying that we need housing.
Right.
Those kids, some of them get out, don't have anywhere to stay. And as they're talking to me, I'm hearing my mother in my other ear. That's her. That's her. That's what she wanted to do, identify and train talented youth so that they can become the best they can be. That's my mom. And I told them I had this house.
Right.
And that's when they said, well, we got Youth Build, AmeriCorps, in Europe, we can all work and restore the house. We went in to restore the house in the back part, which was an add-on, it was all rotten. So we decided, let's take that down and build a new dorm, something new, so they can have up-to-date.
Before we get into the building part, can we tell them about the concept of everything?
Well, so, and this model was built out of necessity, not out of ingeniousness. I mean, don't call nobody a genius yet. So during the pandemic, in that South 76104, right before the 2019, we found out it has the lowest life expectancy in all of Texas. All those issues. And it was bad. Put the pandemic on top of that. And through this whole pandemic, one of the craziest things, those people didn't have bankers. They didn't have financial institutions. Money was not circulating in that community. And so the little we got, we kept putting it out, but we got access to food and other things, but we never had access to capital.
Right.
So you see the community is a depressed community. The average income is $22,221.22, 21 cents.
That's hard to live on.
Life expectancy is 64 years if you're a black man, 67 on average. And I saw this and I'm like, there's no way we're gonna survive. And I just happened to see a video of Texas A&M promoting their coffee center to international countries,
Right.
helping poor people in international companies grow a better bean to make a better profit so that they can stay home and raise their kids. And the concept came to me, if they could have international people
Exactly.
stimulate their economy, I wonder if they could help stimulate the inner city economy. So I called A&M and talked to their folk and I said, hey, we need help. Our community is depressed economically, medically and otherwise. I said, you all are doing this in international cities. Do you believe specialty coffee can stimulate the inner city? And they said, yes, we do believe. And that's began our relationship. So I said, listen, I need you all. We need to create something that people, no matter where they are, find themselves in life, that if they follow the script, they can become successful and make their own living. And so I brought that concept and the church rejected it, pushed back on it, the older members.
Right.
Because they remember this, the church is supposed to be this, the building, you come and worship and go home. But you have this 15,000 square foot facility in the best location in town to serve the people in need, and you just want to do, right? That's never been mine. That's what I'm saying, hanging out with the heathens.
Right.
He was out hanging out with heathens.
That's it.
I mean, leading them to God. So it all just started coming together. When they asked me about the house for them to live, I said, but I have a coffee idea that I've been trying to launch. So not just give them transitional living, let's give them transformational training. So that while they're there, they're serious about wanting to make a better living. And that's when I was, had met Obedience. He's an older guy, but he was in the game. And he was showing me his paperwork. And on his paperwork said 200 to 400 grams. 200 to 400 grams. 200 to 400 grams. Arrested. 2 years, 4 years. I said, man. I was like, what in the world?
That's it.
But he had the skill set.
Yeah.
And then I told him, I said, it's the same grams. It's a different gram. And then that became the mantra. And so they said, yes, we've been working on trying to do the house. We've been trying to get people to understand the concept. So the model is a three-part model, all centered in the Bible and biblical principles. But it's residential. They'll have a nice place to be able to get better.
Right.
I left in trauma at 18. But Tarleton had everything I need to overcome my trauma. I had 3 square meals, a place to stay. They gave me tutoring, counseling, everything I needed because I could catch a football and ran fast. Most of these kids will never get that opportunity. So bring it to them, give them the same chance to overcome their trauma, but then learn a real trade that they can use their hands to make their own. We did a research project for Trimble Tech, and we discovered that the reason the black kids were not motivated, they could not connect what they were learning in school to making money. And it was an unfair process. So once you show them that process, they are just as motivated as everyone else.
They can see themselves. They can see themselves being used to something that they want to do. Not something that's being forced on.
That's why we want the kids that we work with have a desire to do something, like make entrepreneurial spirit, a little different. They believe they can make it. Those are the ones we want to give a shot at this. And so it's residential, retraining, and then the retail. And here's the neat part about the retail. We're instituting a import-export piece of this so that they can learn international trade. So we're gonna have 1 or 2 or 3 of them who will get it.
Yep.
But when they get it, they'll be able to make their living right there in that chair and not have to leave their little chair to make a living. So they don't, same grams, different grind.
Y'all heard that, right? Same gram, different grind. Coming from the prayer room with Pastor Taylor. Hey, we're here at Streetside Classic. We had our monthly For Wealthy Word podcast show. We have Pastor Taylor. Come on out. Like I said, the weather is great. We want to thank Dunkin' Donuts this morning for supporting us with the donuts and the cup of the box of Joe. And so, we've been talking about what they're going to be doing over there at the prayer room. We talked about the kids that's coming out, helping out. So I saw the video with Channel 4. You actually see these kids putting in work. They got the sledgehammers, they got the hard hats, they safety gear on. They're actually putting in work trying to make their dream. They're working to make their dream work.
We told them, said, listen, this is for you and it should be by you.
Right.
We want you to help us design this. We want you to be a part of laying the foundation. This is for teens, and every one of them have been troubled. I was a troubled teen, but my mom wouldn't give up on me. She was going to kill me before she gave up on me. But a lot of these kids understand not having somewhere to sleep, even if they're with their moms. They're moving from place to place, can't pay rent, can't do this. So that transit mindset is an unsettling mindset. Not being able to eat 3 square meals a day is an unsettling mindset. So
It adds to the trauma.
so when you have them from that 18 to 24, it's a critical time. You can lose a lot of them, which you do, but you can save some of that group. I was a testament of ones that were saved, so I know it's possible. And so it takes grown-ups not giving up on them. It takes grown-ups willing to invest in them. And it takes grown-ups willing to train them so that they can be better people. And I know, like Mr. Mitchell,
Right.
He
right.
knew, he saw the preacher in me before I wanted to preach, and now I wouldn't want to do anything else. Right.
But you just mentioned about it takes adults, it takes people to invest in our youth, in our community. Yeah, and earlier I mentioned a few great people. Tell me, what would you say to the neighbors that surround you, to the companies that surround Kobe, to any company or family, to get more involved in the community, get more involved in the prayer room? And I'm gonna ask you later how they can connect with you to support you. And so it's a lot of us like to go to work, maintaining my business, shut my door, lock my door, and do it all over again. Don't want to get into the community. What would you say to those individuals? I don't want to say shut out the community or shut out the youth. I don't want to say that they gave up on our communities, but it's hard not to say. But because it's hard right now. You see the school shootings. Every night I go to bed, 3 or 4 nights I go to bed with gunfire. Tires squealing, loud music, but the next day I get up, I still worry about my community. I still worry about the youth out. So how do you tell them to say, get back involved, don't give up?
Well, for me, it showed me. I mean, I'm a preacher that was taught this early on. I'd rather see a good sermon than to hear one.
Okay.
And a lot of them like to talk about it, but nobody wants to really roll up their sleeves and be about it.
Exactly.
And so the hope and desire, just like Jesus is, by you engaging, by you demonstrating, it inspires others to want to engage. Terrell Patterson wrote a book, and I'm waiting for him to come back in the book so we can have a book thing with it. It's called Addicted to Lies.
Okay.
And somebody told us that get in a house, buying all the things in your house,
Right.
staying in your house,
Yeah.
Just minding your own business, don't be concerned about no one else, pursue your American dream, and just live that way, and life will be fine. But you and I both know that that's not true.
It's not.
So when you live your life in that kind of selfish mindset, you miss your true ability to take what has been given to you, to give. The grace is a gift, to be able to instill it in other folk. A generation of folk who are innocent. They have no clue. They did not choose to come into this world. I mean, people who give up on children amaze me. Because just imagine if they gave up on us.
Yeah.
Somebody had to take my son called me in the head one time. I wanted to knock him out, but in the real sense, someone has to be able to hang out with the heathens.
Yeah.
To show them it's a better way.
Yeah.
Not becoming them, but somebody has to be able to say, boy, I see something better in you.
Exactly.
I had a college dean who told me that I was a dumb jock, because that's what they expected, right?
Right.
I mean, I was there to play football,
Yeah.
really. And he said something, and it changed my life. He said, you are smarter than you're acting. He said, you're a better man, Greg Sawyer. And when he said that to me, my sweats on, acting jockeys. He was a former jock. And then he gave me one of Dr. King's speeches. I want you to learn this because I want you to recite it at the next meeting. At the next MLK ceremony. So that was over. I said, what?
Let's start on this side and go.
Man, I was ready. I did that. It rocked my world.
Okay.
The applause and people.
Yeah.
I was used to it on the football
Then
field.
we can go
'cause I was
there.
there. But now I'm in another area.
Then come back.
Guys, you got your comfort zone.
He and gave me a whole new perspective.
Wow.
And the thing about Dr. King, I promise you, I was just as dumb and just as stupid as everyone else. But when I heard Dr. King's Drum Makes Instinct speech, the one he talked about the Good Samaritan, and he talked about the guys wanted to sit at his right and left hand, James and John.
Okay.
And he was saying everybody has that. I want to be out front. I want to be that person. But he said the greatest among you shall be a servant. No. The great among you shall be a servant, but the chiefest among you shall be servants of all. And that clicked in my head. And so Greg was getting me in position to be a servant. So he would take us us over to the elementary schools and start talking to the kids. He would get us involved in activities on campus. So it became more about focusing on others than on just yourself. And I promise you, my healing came through my service. So it's a beautiful thing. And so I've been serving in these kind of spaces about 88, 87. Okay. And this is what I learned when I went to seminary. Seminary, Austin Presbyterian, that 70% of pastors don't feel comfortable outside of the pulpit. They believe that, like you said, out your comfort zone. And we saw it during COVID. Most of the pastors did not know what to do for emergency response. Praise God, we were prepared to do it.
Well, I'll tell you what, we discussed a lot. I'm going to be with just two things I want to hit on before we get out of here. Three things, I'll take that back. Three things I want to hit on. The first thing is, how can people reach you? How can people support you? What are your needs right now?
Yeah, well, we just need help. We need all kind of help. People with different skill sets. We're in the restoration phase.
Yes, sir.
So we need people with skills, people with licenses. This has been a mission project. I told them from the beginning, we have no money, we have this house. And we have hope, and we have this dream. And I believe God and my mother are cheering us on if we just stay committed. When we decided to do that new dormitory, then that's gonna cost us about $1 million. So I gotta raise money. That's, that's my job, to raise money now, cast the vision and pray for the provisions, right? So people who have a heart to give, who want to come and be a part of something, this is an incredible model. I go, like you said, every neighborhood that has troubled kids and a house that nobody's doing anything productive with can become a harvest of hope in some of these young heathens, and give them a shot at it earlier. You follow me?
Oh, yeah.
The earlier we give them a shot at it, the more likely they're going to rise to the occasion. The later in life we do it, they're stuck in their ways and they're not going to want to do it. But the more we create this. So I'm at New Mount Rose Missionary Baptist Church on the corner of Mississippi and Glen Garden. Yes, sir. I give myself no out to everyone because I'm a community servant. I'm a minister of the gospel, so you can call me. You might have to pray for me to return all of them, but I do the best I can with what I got.
We will get back with you.
I'll just take some time because, man, it's 817-966-7625.
All right.
And then our email is kptatum1@gmail.com, which is also our Zelle, kptatum1@gmail.com. If people just want to give $5, $10, every dollar adds up. We had to stop a lot of the work because we ran out of money. And so we're hoping to put these all over the world, starting here in Fort Worth, and then communities. There are communities all over this country that need something to give these kids a good shot.
All right, so now my last thing I have is what we briefly talked on. It's about, and it's gonna be a fundraiser.
Yes,
on Main Street.
So every third week, Dr. King came to Fort Worth on October 22nd, 1959.
Okay.
It was a well-kept secret.
Okay.
And then we decided to do a marker downtown to honor that day.
Okay.
And that's always the third Saturday of October. So it started out as just a little small, it's still small, but a little festival where we just created his dream, where we can come together.
Okay.
And that's what it was during the time, 2018-19, all the racial unrest.
Right.
And so we were trying to say, hey, let's talk it out, don't fight it out, let's talk it out. And then we got the coffee the coffee collaboration with Texas A&M
Yes, sir.
in 2021. So we shifted to coffee because there was no coffee festival in Fort Worth at the time.
Okay.
So we created the Fort Worth Coffee Festival down there. So the last 2 or 3 years, we've been going down there, feeding, serving coffee and things, until we get that promotion guy, like you said, right?
Yep.
We had the cars out there the first time. but we couldn't keep it sustained. So it's all a real neat idea. And man, I walked into this candy store today. Lord have mercy.
Good morning.
Speaking of candy store, there's Miss Denise right there. And so,
It's so sweet.
we're gonna make that jump off. Like I said, we have
Let's do
three great car show hosts here. And I hope y'all mind me sharing. We got Mr. Brian, DFW Car Show. We got Time Machine, and we got D&D Rock and Rod. So we're gonna be reaching out to them. October's right around the corner.
Yeah.
You know, so we're gonna start prepping it. We're gonna make that much better. And we're gonna start. I'm in on it. If you don't mind having me with some cars, with some people.
Our goal is to create the atmosphere
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
where people can learn to agree to disagree, but still work together and not be disagreeable.
Yes, sir.
This whole notion of the idea that you disagree with me, I have to counsel you, and you're no longer a value of importance. It's just about as crazy as you can make it. And whoever supports that got some things they need to deal with the Lord.
Right. Right.
But I just believe it doesn't happen automatically. You have to be intentional. And so you have to create intentionality in these kinds of opportunities. And there's nothing we've seen, two things we've seen that help people have better conversation. One is coffee. If you get a cup of coffee and chill out, they have a good time. And the other is baseball.
Okay. Well, as y'all know, on the last episode, I took my first sip of coffee. It didn't go so well.
That's
I
okay.
never had a sip of coffee. Y'all watched that episode. I almost gagged, and I was like, "What?" So it was two cups of Dunkin'
Yes, sir.
over there.
Yes.
I picked the wrong cup.
You picked the wrong
It wasn't my hot chocolate.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
so it was coffee. And I'm 52 years old.
Yeah.
My big mama, coffee was all in the house. That was our soda back in the day.
Yes, sir.
Add that sugar in there, kids running around for days. You know
Oh,
what I'm
my
saying?
goodness.
So,
They didn't know that.
exactly. You know, and so, but I just
But this
couldn't-
coffee is healthy, you know, and I like your thing, you got, Fort Wealthy work.
That's it. That's
And I'm
it.
glad you said wealth is not just about money, but
You
it's
doing
about
okay,
a
sir?
life, a life where your mind, body, and spirit are healthy. You know, when they're healthy, you're wealthy. You know, I had more money back in the day when I was telling you, when the Lord allowed me to do what I want to do. Just miserable. You know, I had it all. And then when I lost it all, right? I am more happier and healthier now in my spirit man, in my inner man, than I ever been in my life.
I like that.
So it's
It's a wild
journey.
thing.
It's a journey.
I can't understand. I'm not gonna tell you no lie. And next coming up, we're gonna be talking to a young man who's seen a little of my past, but we're not gonna dial into that. But having stuff, thinking you're gonna be happy, you know, you get that taste of that life, but you're not fulfilled. It's crazy. It's a crazy mindset. I don't understand it now. You know, I'm broke as I ever been, but I'm happy as I ever been.
But I think you get to that point, and especially if you go into ministry, because it's the old saying, Lord, keep him humble, because we'll keep him poor.
Exactly. That's
Right?
what
So
it
that,
does.
so I mean, it's not that when you fall out of the love of money, of just the ambition and drive to just acquire money for the sake of acquiring it, so that for status or powerful privilege, then you can get on the right journey of finding your purpose. A lot of people try to throw that in the middle of their purpose, and then when they obtain it, then it's still no purpose. So it's keep the main thing is what we say. Young people, one young lady, when she was being interviewed, she said, "We're just living a lie." I said, "Yes, ma'am, you are. We've sold you a bunch of lies. We told you to grow up, get the American dream, get a house, 2 cars, do your own thing, and life is great." And they get it, and they're still miserable. The kids are miserable. They're not with the kids. It's a lie.
You gotta break that chain.
We have to break it.
But Pastor Taylor, I appreciate you coming on.
All right,
And, hey, I'm gonna repeat this. I'm gonna let him repeat, but I like it. What is it? The same?
Same grams, different grams.
Man, don't get no better than that.
If you change your mind.
If you change your mindset, you change your mind. So, hey, we want to thank you for the for Pastor Taylor coming out. Remember, guys, it's the prayer room. You Google prayer room, it's gonna pull up for Pastor Taylor. Google prayer room Pastor Taylor.
Well, actually, Google same grams, different grinds.
Say.
You put
Well, I
that
tell
in
you,
Google that.
boy, that's-
You'll see Yahoo, Fox, it's catching on, right?
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
And this one guy, he did a podcast, this big one, 75,000 yesterday, was trending. I was like, good Lord. Because people know people need hope.
That's it. That's it.
And you harvest hope.
Right.
It means you gotta cultivate it.
You know, I wish I would have got that one. That's because that grind out there. We all understand it, you know.
It is.
We all
It's the grind.
understand it.
You're on the grind.
Man, that's what we are.
You change the grind.
That's
Lord
it.
have
That's
mercy.
it. And amen to that. Amen to that. But I thank you, sir. We get ready for that car show festival. We're gonna make that happen.
Bulwark Coffee Festival, October, third weekend in October, that's Saturday. Should be fun. I mean, I wish we could have all these cars out there, boy. I
We're
tell
gonna
you.
have a few of them.
Let's sell some cars, man, on Main Street.
Hey, you talk about Street Side Classic. Hey, we thank y'all. Stay tuned. We're gonna keep this going. We got our next guest here, our next Mr. Warren, Mr. Kobe Warren. Can't wait from Warren Heaton law firm, as you see the young man on. He's representing. He got a swag on. He got a swag on. And so, Pastor Taylor, thank you.
So can I give one announcement?
Yes, sir.
Today is our 60th, and it's connected with Hope Farm.
Okay.
We're celebrating our 60th church anniversary. We've been over on the south side since 1964. Pastor Winfrey Kelly. And this is our 60th anniversary, and we had a complete devastation of our church, and it's been restored, and everything is unbelievable. So we'll be at Hope Farm today at 6 o'clock, and you still have time to come. Chef AJ has done a splendid job.
Y'all don't know about Chef AJ.
Oh my goodness!
Let me tell you.
You need a
Tell
chef
you.
for an event. Call her.
She
Her
is.
heart is unbelievable.
She did this fish last, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, and man, I'm still at the bottom of the pan. I was like, hey, that butter on there,
Yeah.
that garlic that she did, man, Chef AJ,
Shout
keep
out
doing
to
what she
Chef
doing.
AJ and Hope Farm because
Exactly,
they're
exactly.
allowing us to utilize their facilities.
Exactly. I might be seeing you this evening.
All right, come on by.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right, and hey, we'll be right back. We're gonna keep it rolling. Thank y'all. Hey, come get some of these donuts. We still got some left.
Hey, yeah, yeah, Taylor.
Nice to meet you.
You in Dallas?
All over Dallas.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
No, they talking. You get him a T-shirt.
Well, I have to get to the airport to pick up the pastor who's coming in.
Okay.
So I'm flying out to DFW right now.
How's it going, sir?
KF Taylor.
Thanks for picking me.
You're his.
Yeah, I'm the marketing guy.
Yeah, let's see what's missing. All right, guys. Morehouse?
Yes, sir.
Our associate pastor, Dr. Mark Cunningham in Morehouse, as well as Eric Vance, he pastors community Southside Community Church. Okay. You have to come by. You have a car? All right. And he can get in touch with me. I don't do cards. I don't know why. They find a way to find me. So, pleasure. Thank you, guys.
All right, be safe out there.
You do look familiar.
Yeah, I get around.
Yes, sir. Yeah, me too. Take care, guys.
So,
Yeah.
how's it going? man?
Good.
All world doing good?
Oh, yeah, busy.
Yeah.
keeping us busy. That's
Yeah. Do you have a specialty or is it
primarily criminal.
criminal defense?
Very, very.
My wife and I just finished watching Better
Yeah. I keep going in and out on that.
Yeah.
I get wrapped up for a bit. That's my problem. I start a bunch of shows and I flip to another show. So when it grabs me and keeps me, I just really hit the roll and roll. So,
You were the same way. It's like we need to change the pace for a while.
yeah.
I mean, Better Call Saul, like 4 seasons, 4 or 6
Oh, I
seasons.
think it's like 7.
Seven?
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's like, it's a lot. You gotta change the pace sometimes.
But I enjoyed it. What was the first?
Breaking Bad?
Breaking Bad. Like I really enjoyed Breaking Bad.
Hey, I'm
I
sorry.
need tennis shoes.
I was this morning too.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How
Good,
you
doing
doing?
fantastic.
Mr. Gus, you mind taking a photo?
Yeah.
Let's
We're
get
gonna
my
take out the
TFT.
Yeah. You're on live.
Whoa.
Let's see.
Now, hey, this is the street side experience. Got you a couple of hats. I mean, a couple of t-shirts and hats.
Now I will wear this. I will wear this.
So, hey, y'all gonna see him definitely in this October, third
October,
weekend.
third weekend
We
in
have the coffee festival down in Main Street. We're trying to do car shows with it. And so we'll be
I'm
doing
so
that.
excited for you.
Should be fun.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Good to go. Thank
Got
you.
it.
All right.
And Mr. Denise, this is Mr. Warren over here.
Hi there,
Cody
good
Warren.
morning, welcome.
Thank you,
Hey.
guys.
So we're about to get started with him. Mr. Warren is one, he's a law firm, old friend, we grew up together.
Okay, oh, wonderful.
Talk about,
I literally know the bodies are buried.
the camera is moving, I don't believe in that time. Can't get duplicate or whatever. I don't believe in that. You know? I am innocent. I ain't did nothing. You know what I'm saying? But no, big brother, we want to talk about what these kids are doing out here. They're not defended, taking care of the business. You want to know the business. Know the business. You know, have somebody who knows.
That's
So,
right.
one of the things that these kids are getting out, I don't try to turn them forward. You know they're getting out, they need big money. And so what I try to tell them is, hey, know what you're doing, how much it's gonna cost to get out of jail, know what the lawyer is gonna cost, and know that, what that bond is. And so, but,
In other words,
know the business.
know the
That's
business.
the business.
And
part
know
right here.
that you better not be screwing up because it's gonna cost you an awful lot of money.
As long as you sit in it, in more cases, you're gonna get
That's
bailed out.
right,
So,
that's right.
we're gonna have some fun, and, I've got to get past the table and picture with this car. But, yeah, we've been doing this for a minute. So.
That's awesome.
And so, but
Yeah, might need to sit down and talk to this one, but find out exactly what you were up to in the day.
No,
I mean, I
yeah.
have my suspicions and you've shared quite a bit, but,
no, I'm an angel. I'm an angel out here.
Yeah.
You heard what Pastor Taylor said, going to church with the grandma.
Uh-huh.
I was there before the church opened.
okay,
Okay, I'm lying.
yes, you are. Yes, you are.
So, but no, but yeah, he's a good firm, and I think our people in the community need that because they get into that system, and some attorneys don't care about it. They just make them.
Well, no, it's all a money thing
Yeah.
and a number thing, and it's really, really sad.
It is, yeah.
I think it's starting to turn around. I mean, I'm watching this, that, and the other going on. We're hoping there is, and the people like you guys out there, obviously, it's a long road, but.
It is. I'm like this. You just gotta educate yourself.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and
We're
that's
gonna
the whole key.
We're gonna talk about, educate what it takes to hire an attorney. What do you know? I'm just going in blind. You know.
Well, most of them don't even ever think of that because they don't have the funds to do it anyway, so they're just
They
at the
think
mercy
ahead,
of
right?
the state. So it's good to get them
Yeah.
They think
educated and
ahead.
think, okay, mommy's not there to wipe your hiney anymore. You're gonna have to do something, do something right.
I freaked out when I got my first parking ticket in college.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what do you do? Like, what do I do with this? I know.
No, I was like,
that was my first experience.
Oh my
you
goodness.
don't know that's very real for him. Quit laughing.
Hey, that was trauma, wasn't it? That was trauma.
So the free legal advice is, hey,
Yeah.
Right,
That's your
right.
free
You
legal
know, I
advice.
called a lawyer and I gave him the money and it went away.
Oh, there you go.
they charge you double what the ticket was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just kept
And
that-
I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
have to
Probably
do
right.
I don't know, hand wash, you know what I'm saying? I am a saint. I didn't have a parking ticket. I didn't
No
have a
parking
parking
ticket,
ticket.
man.
No.
I had about 5 or 6. You know.
Well, what we gonna do with you?
What are we gonna do with
Hey,
him?
TFT hire all kinds.
I know,
you know what
you
I'm
guys
saying?
have 5 parking tickets.
Cut down on the
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for giving us such a great life. The pure innocence, right?
I know. But he is, hey, you know what, you have to tell your, he has a daughter this week.
Oh,
3
congratulations.
days. Like 1 day, 2 days, yeah.
Oh,
First
wonderful.
child?
First child.
I got 3 daughters, so.
Oh my gosh, girl dad.
Yeah, girl dad's rule.
I know, I'm ready.
Girl, no, I'm pretty cool
Oh,
too.
yeah, sure you are.
You say he's ready, right?
I'm nervous all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Is anyone hurting my
Sleep's
baby?
overrated.
Sleep is overrated when you're a new
Yeah,
parent.
it's overrated.
But we're gonna take the first part tour.
Okay.
I think you might have drove by one time. I don't know if have you ever been in?
No, no, he
Okay.
just, we just
We
make this.
did a
okay.
lap, yeah.
Okay, good deal. And then,
What do you want, present him with a shirt?
wanna do that first now?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
So I can get busy?
So, Mr. Dexter, you can.
Look at this guy happy in his little bug.
You better roll in there.
I know, right? It's really interesting how some of them get in there, in these vehicles. Corvettes and stuff, we get guys 6'5", one, I can't fit. I'm so sorry, I'll say. You smell good.
Oh, thank you.
Nice. Beautiful. Got it.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Thank
Have a
you,
good meeting
enjoy, you as well.
Thank you.
we'll get you, what was your favorite car? We'll talk about more, but we'll get a, snap of that. Let me get something to drink, water real quick. And, I got the questions. Rock and roll. So, yeah, my printer went out.
So you said you had to do it old school, what you saying?
Yeah, my printer went out, I'm like, it showed me Tuesday though. It showed me.
That it was about to have a
Yeah,
problem.
it did, I'm not gonna lie. And I just didn't, Thursday, Friday, I didn't hit Walmart to get no, so.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, man, thank you for coming
Yeah,
by.
yeah,
You know what I'm
anytime.
saying?
Let me know. You're in the-
So, have some fun. We're trying to do a little something, man. Get it started. I'll tell you, the stuff that we've been doing in the schools now, a couple of union gospel, it's opening doors. We're making traction.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? The prison release that Pastor Tatum was talking about, the Euro program. That is huge. That's really where the heart is.
Yeah.
Juvenile service,
Mhm.
right down the street. And then just, kind of, like you mentioned, trying to stop that.
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
educate them, you know what I'm saying? So, but we know, the system is built, the pipeline is built, and they're gonna keep funding. We ain't gonna stop that. We just gonna try to get the one or two we can. You know what I'm saying? We gotta be real with it. My struggle was that when I first got into this, when I was at the juvenile service, I'm like, man, why they ain't listening? I'm getting pissed off, you know what I'm saying? And until Miss Lydia told me, like, bro, you ain't gonna get all them.
Yeah, not all of them.
She
Yes,
said,
not all of them.
find the one who stay close to you, and you just love on that one. Just keep, you know what I'm saying? And I started learning, and so that's what I do, pour into, with this coach.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
besides that, the other ones, I got one, my guy now.
Well, I got.
Listen, I tell you, man, you better get your lawyer, get it all lined up. And that's where I'm gonna be. Hey, man, this is what your fee costs you, your bond, your time, and you get, and so be prepared. The thing is, and I'm using my experience because my first one in the early '90s, the no bond, almost a year, they didn't want me out. You know what I'm saying? And not knowing the fee, luckily, I was married. So I couldn't show my mom, my wife, all the money. So I had other accounts. Then I gave my mom power of attorney, and she did the money was there. The money was there for an attorney. You know what I'm saying? So, but that was pure luck. Just because I was married, I didn't want to show my wife. That was pure luck, but that luck is actually real though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't been playing that because you really think you slicker than the law. You ain't slicker than the law. The law knows the hell everybody doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning that part. They know all the hot spots.
It's about their time.
Yeah, that's, and so, you just, with them young kids, they not believing what we're saying. We old heads.
Yeah.
We old heads, man. Oh, still what you don't know. Man, your car gonna get punched, partner. You keep on trucking. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get punched. But, so what would be the favorite car?
Ooh, like out here or just in
Or
general?
just, what's your favorite class? Do you have any classes? Yet?
I really like I can't remember
You remember that Lincoln with
what's the
the
one
6
that the black has with the suicide?
Lincoln? The Lincoln?
What is it? Is it the
It was, that was a 70-something Lincoln.
I know
Had the old phone in it.
Yeah, the back doors of suicide.
Yeah, suicide.
Yeah,
There was
yeah,
Lincoln.
yeah.
There's a 4-door Lincoln. I don't know if I seen it out there. I only got there once this morning, but yeah, 4-door Lincoln.
Yeah, that's
I mean, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know, my old, had the old Mercedes.
Yeah.
The old gangster, you know what I'm saying? That sucker floated, and so, I was upset he got rid of that thing, man. I was trying to buy it, you know what I mean?
Didn't he wreck it?
Nah, he just sold it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he
Okay.
just sold it. I was sitting in the garage,
Okay.
man. I was like, man, don't get rid of that thing. Don't get rid of it, man, I mean, that Mercedes, big 500, old school 500, man. That thing floated, man.
You may want to check some text. I think Mike said he's on his way.
Oh, man, let me turn it off.
Okay. We can leave the YouTube on and just take the Facebook off.
Okay. Let me turn that volume down.
How'd y'all get this connection over here?
So I was trucking and over there making a delivery. And so when when the door opened, the damn cars started pulling out.
Midnight Lamborghini, I'll take that.
And so, I'm a Mustang guy. I'm a 68. I bought me a Mustang here. I bought the one out. Mine came out of Florida though. And so I saw the cars coming out. I was like, what is this place here? And so once they finished, it's either loading me or unloading me. I don't know which one. I came and pulled right here, and Mr. Denise was taking a break, and I came up. I was like, what's going on? She told me. And I was like, oh man, this is cool. And this is when I was, it was about 10 years ago. I was trying to do car shows. You know, having 2 cars, 3 cars, wasn't consistent, right? And so she's like, hey, I have car shows here. You know what I'm saying? And then so we just started running, and they started giving out some money for scholarships.
Okay, good. That's nice.
Yeah, and so she has been supporting. So Street Side is owned by a woman. All 5 locations, maybe 6 locations. This woman, she started out, her and her husband, divorced. She grew, you know. And yeah, she this is phenomenal place. They're the #1 consignment place, car dealership. And so Mr. Denise is the second hand, and she was like, Donna. Is it Donna or Tanya? One of them. No, Donna. Is it Donna? And she's like, I need you to introduce you with Donna. So she flying in one day, and I came over and talked about it. And it's been supporting. You know what I'm saying? It's awesome. And so they stepping up with this year. They stepped up last year with a big donation. But at the time we was just getting started again. So COVID, you know, I did not. I thought I was done with this crap. I didn't do this stuff no more, man. And I started back balling. I was just, you know, I was like, but he, like Pastor Taylor did, as long as you run, bigger than him. Yeah, and he just started smashing on me again. And like a long story short, we're sitting here today, you know. But he, but yeah.
That was a football player. Who was that?
Pastor Taylor, Kev Taylor from Texas. Played for Texas his last year because he had his ring on. I don't know. I didn't get into that. I should have.
Yeah,
But,
you should have asked him.
Yeah, I should have. Cause I kept seeing the ring, this big old, you know.
You never see a ring.
You know, so. But yeah, he's doing the prayer room over in Fort Worth. He pastor there. They connected with Texas A&M. They're working with prison release youth.
Oh yeah.
And they're teaching them trade of golf, taking them up to another country, teaching them about growing it and everything. Then the house they live in, sell it for the community. They learn the trade.
Yeah.
So
That's great.
It's good.
yeah, it is.
You get more water?
And so.
Moving the camera.
And so, but yeah, they good people. We just gotta take it to the next level. She's just saying every time we take it to the next level, they'll continue to support us.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so, which is a good deal. We about
Yeah,
to take
absolutely.
we got to do the books. So we got some stuff coming up. It's to get out there and spread it. So I'm learning now it's a process of everything.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
you know I'm just learning. You know, working at first when we first started going to the juvenile service, $1,000 scholarship, that was the easy part. Now we get into the business part, and it's a lot more. And so, but it's fun learning. It's a lot of stuff, and that's what Pastor. I said you started enjoying it, Mark. He's like, well, yeah, I haven't started enjoying it. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I haven't started. But I had to rephrase it. You started enjoying seeing God work.
Yeah, there
You
you go.
know,
Yeah.
and so, but you know, you still have some
down.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Man, it's brutal, you know, but
Frustration, setbacks.
oh man, you know, and it's but you know, you keep on going, you know what I'm saying?
Perseverance.
You just wait every now and then. I buy that dollar lottery ticket, you know what I'm saying? Like, when are you gonna give it to me, man? You know, and I just think of all them cars. Well, I be like, bring them all, you know what I'm saying? And so, but nah, I'll still be in the community. But nah, that's what we're trying to put out here, man. Like I said,
Like
so, yeah, we can rock and roll.
Okay.
Is that mine?
Yeah, yeah.
You have shirts for us?
Yes, I got a t-shirt and a shirt on my keys. You want to do it now? Or you just want to keep?
Yeah, I can change it too.
All right. Backseat. You want to go ahead and grab it? We'll wait for this.
Just make it.
I'm right there.
Thanks for it, too.
Oh, well, see, he didn't apply for the text.
Oh, he didn't get it?
So, no, he got it, but I didn't bring it. I would have earned everybody's if they would have told me. How was doing, sir?
Just talk the world.
You know what I'm saying? This is Mike. Mike is another old school friend.
Good, Coach.
Kobe.
Oh, Kobe.
One of our sponsors, and so he's doing an IT curriculum.
Okay.
Automotive curriculum, so we're launching that at the end of the month. The Dune Buggy transmission came in yesterday. So we're teaching automotive, the introduction to automotive.
Okay.
And we're doing it on the Dune Buggy. So we got some nice Dune Buggy, nasty Dune Buggies, you know. We gotta put our touch to it, some speakers, you know.
Yeah.
But we teach because the Dune Buggy's open. We teaching also biblical, you know, the eyes of what you see, your sin, brakes, temptation, all that good stuff. And we'll get out there on that. IT, welding, light construction, and we're doing that with the prison release crew.
Yeah.
And basically, the community as a whole on the east side.
I like it.
Soon we get a trailer, we're gonna make it mobile.
Okay.
So
Take it.
one of our issues, they can't get to you.
Yeah.
So we're gonna make it mobile and.
Nice.
You know. Oh yeah, so you didn't know about this.
I didn't know about that word.
Exactly. See, I can't tell you everything. I can't tell you everything. You know what I'm saying? It'll be overwhelming because you just can't tell everything.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
We have that, we're starting the grant process, and so, that's written up. And then we got a private donor, who's taking care of that doing other stuff.
So what part of it's gonna be one of the Dune Buggy?
And whole class.
Snap. Oh my goodness.
You know,
That
that's a
is
250,
fantastic.
350, full the trailer, everything's gonna be mobile. All wrapped up, open doors, whole class.
Buy my truck.
Yeah. And we're talking about you got a regular 150.
Oh, man, that's a 350, it's a twin turbo, and pull it. It's that's like 500 horsepower and torque.
Okay, well.
I'm kidding, I don't want to sell my truck. I was
Hey,
joking.
I'm like, what you owe on it? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to put it in the numbers.
And that was part of like me getting rid of it, like, man, I don't even buy this piece of garbage anymore. No, I like my truck.
But the donor, most likely gonna be an old school Mopar. He's a Mopar guy.
Okay.
And so, he has a company, he has another company on the side, and he likes, he don't like marketing, he's like fixing up cars at his own fix up sale. And so, I was trucking, made a pickup there.
Yeah.
You know, I was starting that truck, you know, and then probably about a month later, God took me out of the truck in October.
Yeah, I know. I remember you telling me that.
Oh, yeah, and that was, yes, sir. That was, I think that was the biggest legal case, you know. But I made it.
And he's provided, right?
Lights ain't turned off yet.
He is provided.
I might be getting rid of cable pretty soon.
He's provided, he's sustained.
He's taking
Absolutely.
Man, I missed the opportunity because Pastor Tatum told me that when he went towards God, he knew when he went towards God, he had a choice for his wife and God, and he went God, he lost his wife. I'm blessed. My old lady sticking by me, my wife sticking by me. You know, I don't think. You know, I look back at the women I had. I don't know. I pretty much know none of them still. You doctors, don't get me wrong. You make $100,000. That ain't much to some of them. You probably not afford it. I think that woman might be looking at the dope.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, it's a big adjustment for
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah. You know, and I think I gotta make sure I mention that. I actually gotta tell her tonight. I gotta do something. Now my conscience telling me to do something. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I do something. Some flowers. I'm grateful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That he gave me my crazy. You know what I'm saying? So he ain't met my wife.
I haven't.
You gotta talk all about my wife. My
Okay.
wife, she's still be where she's funny.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah, we got together last week. You remember Anthony? He wasn't around a whole lot, but he was in my class.
The name sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I remember, man.
Yeah, for Black, O, Rob, Pete came by. Hank.
Hank,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So we down for Hank's birthday for a little bit.
Now, I want to get a round table fit. I want us to get a round table, man. You know, you guys, as you know, as I look back on it, I actually kind of know when y'all was hitting me. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I look back, I was like, he had started. You know what I'm saying? I should have listened to me, but of course you still, like Pastor Ted said, you run some more. You know, and then he made all. I wished I would have just listened back then, but that's not the path that he chose. But I would like to get a round table with us one day. You know what I'm saying? And chop it up and have a little fun, do some barbecuing, and because it's some stories in that last. You know what I'm saying? You know.
I do.
But yeah, it's some great though. Now I see it. It's like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, why didn't I freaking listen back then? You know. But it was you see those miracles, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. You know, it's a good crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, we can get ready to get rock and roll.
Tell me from the
Rock and roll. I'm getting me donuts. We got to talk about Dunkin' Donuts. Let's hit this Facebook again. I gotta get another phone. Them people called me the other day, T-Mobile.
Oh, I wanted to talk to you for a minute, Broderick,
Yes, sir.
and Dexter.
Man, you good. Oh, I should say it. It's gonna go again.
I already had my question answered by looking at what we got here, but.
What you thinking?
I just gotta, I'll just ask you and be quiet over here.
Let's talk about, you wanna take a look at this? Let me get a donut so I can come up. You gonna see if Dunkin' help outside on that Main Street with Pastor Taylor. Just please. All right. Yeah, oh man, he's turning the corner.
Yeah.
Turning the corner, bro.
Yeah.
Oh. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You got a little pissed at me one day. You a little mean on somebody trying to piss me off. I ain't never showed him that part. You know, he ain't see that part about it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, yeah, man. You know,
Yeah.
you know, man.
Yep.
And stuff don't go that way. You know what I'm saying? After all these years, you know, you say you hear this, like, all right, bro, but this time I want to move. You know what I'm saying? You know, I want the move, man. I was like, you know, so he's turning that corner, man. That's what matters.
Yeah.
You know, I want to keep him down long, man. Just be patient, man. Be patient. We're close to them.
Yep.
Time is your best friend now.
Yeah. We got, when he did, God saved him. He saved him. He didn't realize he needed to save him.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was saying.
You think we out there on that out there on our own little deal?
Yeah.
You ready, Mr. Dexter?
You're live.
All right. Hey guys, as y'all see, my mouth is full with Dunkin' Donuts. I want to thank them for sponsoring us. We're here at Street Side Classic today. We're doing our monthly podcast show, Full Welcome Work. And we have a special guest. And I say special guest because it's an old friend of mine, he's a brother. And I get the privilege of interviewing him for some needs that we have here in Fort Worth. And so, I tell you, I thought about this when I was doing my question, and I wanted to keep it business and not personal.
Okay.
You know, and so you have to separate things, and sometimes it's difficult to do it. You know, because I know our relationship, and I also know the relationship in the business. So both of them is basically personal to me, but we're gonna keep it good today. You know, but we're gonna circle back when we have that round table and get into some good. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so today we have Mr. Kobe Warren with Warren and Healy Law Firm. IGotCharged.com.
Yeah.
Y'all see that. And so, Mr. Warren, tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, I just didn't want to dive into the legal matters, the things in the community. Tell us about the family. I want to also, lovely wife, Miss Melanie. Tell us about the family. I saw on social media, Spelman.
Yeah, okay. Well, good morning. Yeah, Coach Warren, originally from Fort Worth, born and raised, went away to Morehouse College for undergrad, then I went to Howard up in DC for law school. Came back home, was a prosecutor for a few years in Dallas County, and I've been doing defense work. Had my own firm for coming up on close to 10 years. Married, anniversary of 20 in the next couple of weeks. Beautiful wife Melanie, thank you so much, dear. 3 daughters. My oldest is 18. She's a freshman at Spelman College in Atlanta. I have a sophomore in high school, and then I also have my 3rd daughter is in 6th grade. So we live in the mid cities, and you know.
All right. Well, we're gonna dive into. So, was your path always cut out? You knew you was gonna be a lawyer. Did you?
For a very, very long time, I was in the Jack and Jill Cotillions when I was in high school, and that was the little biography we had to write for ourselves. My original ambition was to be a judge, but not saying that it couldn't happen or won't happen, but right now I'm content in being a business and firm owner.
Okay. All right. So, a family man, businessman. You had the plans to be a lawyer. You know that's great. These kids that we work with out here, I'm gonna get into the community. They really don't have plans.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But I know you was blessed. You had a mom and a dad at home.
I did. Yes.
You know that's a blessing right there. But even outside of that, how important was having a plan?
Oh, it's invaluable. You know, and I think a lot of times with, especially people that don't, or children or even people in general that don't really understand how a plan works or how to develop a plan or how to see a plan through, they set these big lofty goals. And it's fine to have a big lofty goal.
Right.
However, when having a big lofty goal, it takes a lot to get to that goal.
Okay.
And sometimes what happens is people aim for the big lofty goal. It may take longer than what they anticipated, or there may be some failures or setbacks during that process. They get discouraged, and then what happens?
Right.
They give up on it. And so what I tell people is it's great to have a big lofty goal. You know, like me, I wanted to be an attorney, but I couldn't that couldn't be my only thing. So in order to get to an attorney, there had to be stepping stones.
Right.
So, you know, one, obviously I can't be an attorney if I don't graduate high school.
No.
So let's start there. You know, secondly, then now I have to get a college degree. Thirdly, I have to go to law school. So each and every one of those things are little mini goals. We take smaller steps, and with each step and each completion of that mini goal, I get confidence.
Exactly.
And so I see success. I see myself a step closer.
Exactly.
And that's with anything. Like I tell these kids or my clients, that, you know, any little goal that you set and accomplish, that's a win. And then you get that motivation, you get that inspiration to continue. And next thing you know, you'll look up and you're there.
Exactly.
And now you need to set another goal.
Exactly. That's kind of similar. Y'all know when we do our financial literacy classes, when we do our debt payoff, you know, there's multiple ways of doing debt payoff. Pay your high interest first. Pay who you negotiate down with first. But we start with that snowball effect.
Yeah.
You do that small debt to get motivated.
That's right.
To keep it going.
Yep.
See what I'm saying? And that just, I think that just works for the mindset, the motivation, because a lot of these things that you're going through, regardless if you have both parents at home or one parent, or if you're going house to house, it doesn't matter. The real thing is you're that person who's responsible, accountable for your life.
Or you.
You see what I'm saying?
Or you. The decision making at the end of the day is yours.
Exactly.
And you have to own it. You know, and that's obviously, and whenever I meet people normally in their worst situations, you know, they're having to make, you know, some are really honestly life or death decisions that they have to make. And when they say, well, let me talk to, you know, whether it's my wife or let me talk to my mother, and I said, it's all fine and good. However, that decision has to be you. The circumstance of that decision is going to fall back on you. The same way, whatever the crime was, when you decided to do that crime, that's your own decision. It wasn't anyone else's.
Nobody put a gun to your head. That's right. The majority of the time, nobody got a gun to your head.
Right.
And you're making that decision. Plus, I just wanted, you just said something, oh, let me talk to my mom, let me talk to my uncle. It was my mom and my uncles and my aunts who I got with when my issue came. But you don't want nobody to make that decision, because if it goes wrong, guess what? You're going to be mad at them.
That's right.
You know, you can't be mad at somebody who, yo, situation. So I wouldn't want to give somebody that much control.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For something that you screw up. Eventually, if you screw up and get caught and get found guilty, now the state got control.
Absolutely.
So that's something you want to avoid, you know.
And I want to make sure that I'm not, people aren't misunderstanding what I'm saying. It's absolutely great to have wise counsel.
Right.
And I'm not even
Okay.
saying, I'm not speaking professional, I'm not talking about an attorney. I'm talking about having someone that you can trust and rely on to give you that good hard advice. You know, sometimes it could be a homeboy, or a homegirl, or a brother, or it could be your mom, or your father, or uncle, or, you know, somebody at church, could be a coach. But the key word there is wise. You know, a lot of my clients get terrible advice. You know, they literally do like advice. And
I
some
got to
of it-
share one of your experiences.
I'm just like, and it's just like some of the folks mean well, but they don't really understand, you know, what they're doing. I can take it back to the Central Park case up in New York, Central Park 5, where they, you know, where the young man was blamed for raping the lady. Okay, it was a while ago.
Okay.
But what happened, and it still happens to this day. And so the families, when the police came, they took the young men in there, just tell them whatever they want to know. Well, that's awful advice. Your first call, if you get detained or called in for questioning, just to call an attorney. You need to call an attorney because you don't know clearly what they say. They're going to tell you anything you say can and will be used against you. And I can promise you that is true. I can also promise you that detectives can lie to you. So there are things that they're going to get you to say and want you to say to lie. Hey, well, this person over here is saying this. And so you admit some things, and now you make their job easy for you. You know, and all the time it's not. There's a huge distinction between innocent and not guilty. Okay. You may not be innocent, but you could be not guilty because the state can't prove your case. And so any kind of
It's up to the state.
yeah, or the judge or the jury to make the decision of whether or not they believe there's sufficient evidence. And so you may have done something, but they don't have evidence. But if you go in there and give them everything, you make the job easy.
Well, I tell you what, you know, like you said, detectives can lie to you. I experienced that. Other state officials can lie to you. I experienced that. But, you know, this is not about me today. I can say, and I will say, one thing I do want to get into is the black and white, where I just sit there and say it wasn't about me, but it's actually about me. So one of my first cases was in high school, and I got in trouble. Me and my buddy, he's white, man, same time, went there at the same time, got out a little different times, you know what I'm saying? But nothing happened with him. I got probation, I got all these fines and everything. I'm like, man, you want probation? I didn't get nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, what you mean? Yeah, I didn't get nothing. I came home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh man, come on now. So tell me how that go. You know, is that still happening? Is it?
Well, there has been,
Okay.
there is, and there probably always be some disparity in the criminal justice system.
Okay.
Now, so what I say is definitely based along racial lines, probably not. It's really more so along socioeconomic lines.
Okay.
And so the more money you know, the better attorney you can hire, the better things that can be done for you.
Right.
To present certain things and information to the prosecutor for better deals or to get the cases, you know, dismissed. And obviously it depends on what kind of crime or charge we're talking about. But really now the largest issue, like I said, is socioeconomic. Like it really is.
Because you know it's just like anything else. We here at Streetside Classic, you know, these cars here are top-notch cars. But if you go down to any car dealership on Lancaster, you're gonna pay for what you get. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that we're gonna dive into is how to find an attorney, how to ask questions for an attorney. What's the right attorney for you? And that's actually my next question is, when someone's reaching out for an attorney, what are some questions they need to ask that attorney besides just what's your fees?
Well, the fees are gonna come. Don't you worry about that. The attorney's gonna quote it expenses.
Right.
But to make yourself comfortable and understand whether it's a good fit is you need to know about the attorney's experience.
Okay.
And then you need to know how he feels. How does he or she, how do they interact with you? You know, if you bring your family with you, are they speaking to them? Are they respectful to them?
Okay.
You know, all attorneys are not. You know, some are very short, some are, you know, very condescending. You know, how does this attorney feel? Do you feel confident in this person? Because depending on the kind of crime that you're talking about, this attorney will literally have your life in his hands. And you need to be confident in that. You need to be comfortable in that relationship. And more importantly, you really have to find a lawyer that's going to be honest. And when I say be honest is, for instance, for me, like I lose clients all the time because I'm too honest in regards to my assessment of the case. Okay. You know, they come in and I'm like, hey man, from what you're telling me, it doesn't sound good. Like there's a very high probability that you're going to go to prison, and it will probably be for a good amount of time. Now we can work and try to get the sentence reduced or something like that. And I said, but you can go find an attorney that's going to tell you the complete opposite.
Toe to toe.
Yeah, he's going to tell you what you want to hear, but you're going to wind up back in the same situation where we are right now.
It might get more time.
And I say that's why I tell them I'm not willing to lie to you and get your money, get your food. Like I'm saying, I can't. It doesn't rest well with my soul to lie to you and say, oh, well, that's this. And also another thing, I tell people all the time, they'll come in and say, well, what do you think? And I was like, well, the only thing that I have right now is just your one side. Like I hear what you're telling me. I don't know what the prosecutor has. I don't know what kind of evidence they have or anything like that. So for anybody to give you and say, oh, I think I can do this, they're lying to you because they don't have enough information.
So just speaking of the prosecutor, because you've been on both sides.
Absolutely.
You know, being the assistant district attorney in Dallas. So you kind of got inside too. So if I'm looking for an attorney, I did a crime or might not have done a crime, you know, just guilty by association, whatever it is. You know, I think they will respect that part, you know, because you kind of got their side on the other side. When you said research, know what your attorney is looking for, the experience, that's in your resume. You know what I'm saying? So I can see how that'd be an easy fit. You know, you tell me, hey man, it's not looking good. You know, you're gonna get something. Why would they go testify? Why would they?
You know, people, especially in dire situations, they want to feel comfortable. You know, just like a child. As a child, when you got in trouble.
Okay.
So you want the least amount of punishment possible.
Right. Start crying
Yeah.
before you get there.
So you know, as I became a parent now, you know, like so my daughters will go to their grandparents.
Okay.
For us, because it was it's okay, baby. You know, whereas us, the discipline is going to be much stronger.
Exactly.
So the client wants to go to someone who makes them feel better. Although it may not be the reality of the situation, they want to feel better about it. And it's just, but it's not the reality.
One of my things is, you know, I work with the juvenile kids, I work with the prison release kids, I work with some adults out here. You know, the first thing when they get out of prison, they know what their skill sets are. They know they got to put food in their stomach, they need a place to stay. So when people start working with them and they say, oh, don't go get a job. It's hard for them to get a job.
It is hard.
But it's easy for them to get right back in their groove, their trap. So my thing is, I come to them, I want to be honest with you, I tell them, hey man, go get you a job. But realistically, they say, hey, Mr. Brother, man, I'm back hustling, you know. And I want you to just be honest with me and tell me if I'm telling them the right thing or would you suggest me going a different route. You know, I tell them, hey man, if that's what you have to do right now, go ahead and do it. But eventually, you're going to be right back in the same place you did. So, know what your crime is. Know how much time it is. Know what the bond is. Know what an attorney gonna come for. Because you're gonna need those three things eventually if you keep on going in that track. So do you feel, because some of the mentors that we work with, and I'm not gonna name names, they don't feel that I should tell them that. But I'll be lying to them I don't want them to, you know, they gotta eat, they gotta need a place to stay. I don't want you on Lancaster or Rodale with a sign, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? So am I telling them the right thing, telling them the wrong thing? I know.
So I understand what you're saying, but the reality of what you're saying is also true.
Okay.
It's very difficult for them to find jobs. A lot of them, they don't have the educational background for themselves. A lot of them have dropped out of school, so they don't, you know, a lot of them don't have their GED, so they're not qualified. They're like, you know, people say, well, there's hiring signs all over. There are. However, you know, either they don't have the education, they don't have the experience. And on top of all that, now they have criminal records. There could be theft, it could be violent, all these people who are people in the regular, you know, go to McDonald's, go get, they still don't hire. So it is different, and they get frustrated. Oh, and then you add on to that also, substance abuse,
Right.
and then you also add in mental illness.
Mental illness. Crazy, right?
Yeah, so you add all those things in, it's difficult. It is difficult, so they get discouraged, so they self-medicate or their own drugs, they can't pass the test. So then in their mind, they don't have anything else to do. And like you say, they do have to feed themselves, they do have to sometimes provide for family. So to say, you know, obviously, I don't want to encourage anyone to continue to commit crime. I don't want that to be done. But have I given advice to a client and say, look, man, you're doing what you're doing. If you're going to do that, you need to be smart about it in regards to the situation. If you get caught, this is what's going to happen. You know, you have these priors, you have this. It's going to be opening yourself up to much more. And I just want to get it.
That's it.
This, my grandmother. So, should we? And I don't want to say it as encouraging, you know, to commit crime. Just but trying to educate them, and in order so they can educate themselves to make better decisions and understand the risk. You know, they need to make a cost benefit analysis.
You know, and once they do that, the plan, and let me tell everybody, the plan when I do that, the plan is this, if you start seeing them save their money, you know, they say, oh, the money's gonna cost them, now they saving money. So you know how to save money now. Well, we're not gonna put that money just in a regular account. Have you ever heard of a high yield account? Have you ever heard of a Roth IRA? Because you can't get a 401 because that's what you're doing. What you're doing. Ain't no 401 out there on the street, you know. So there's a method to everything that we're doing at TFT, and also once they get that point, the experience when we talk about they can't get a job here, they can't get a job there. Well, we want to offer them, you know, the training, the knowledge of the trade. That's part of our Young World Changers program. Is the introductions to automotive training, the introduction to welding, the introduction to IT. You know, they're not gonna go get a certificate from it, but they have a concept of what those trades are that they can, you know, go make a living, provide for their family. Pastor Tatum was here earlier, he mentioned the Golden Rule. You know, we have one of our sponsors, his company is Golden Rule Contractors. You know what I'm saying? So always looking for young talent to come on board to work. There's a lot of companies that are second chance companies, but you got to know the skills. Right. You know what I'm saying? You got no skill. I'm not gonna say go to Warren and Healy to go be a prosecutor, you know, not a prosecutor, but a defense attorney, because you know you just don't have it. But there's a lot of companies out here where you can go to these warehouses and get a job if you can drive a forklift.
And I would also say, you know, people have to, you know, imagine if people are prideful, even in their worst situation, you know. So people have to be willing to set aside that pride and come in at entry level. To come in at something that you say, wow, man, I don't want to make $12 an hour. Well, $12 an hour is better than no dollars an hour.
Exactly. You ain't looking over your shoulder at the same time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly right. So, you know, sometimes you have to start somewhere.
Right.
And so we have to get past that and be willing.
You know, it's that's the whole thing. It's that pride is huge. I experienced that myself without a doubt. You know, and you gotta get humble because he will humble you regardless. One way, you gonna let him humble you, or that state's gonna humble you, one way or another.
Right.
But
Yes,
I just want to dial back on some of your awards. We're just gonna dial back on because I was checking you out, looking at, man, you did some big cases. You got a lot of awards. Any of those stick out to you? That you know, you say, you know, you pat yourself on the back, or you know you did some good work, or I mean, you got a nice little portfolio going.
Well, you know, and I try to, you know, whether it's a case that I know I'm gonna get some headlines or some reviews post trial or everything, I try to represent my clients to the best of my ability.
Okay.
Every single time, for every kind of case, whether, you know, it's a murder case, a capital murder case, or whether it's a, you know, possession of marijuana. You know, and I tell you this, it's hard to spend the amount of time that I do with my clients and I develop some sort of relationship.
Gotcha.
You know, so I always have some sort of relationship with my clients, and I feel like a good attorney should. Like it's just, it's almost difficult not to, you know, because you just spend that amount of time together. So I want the best for them, even when they make, you know, awful choices. I've tried capital murders, multiple murders, children murders, all kinds of things. So, these people have made awful choices. But I still want the best, and whether that's, a life sentence as opposed to a death penalty, whether it's 20 years as opposed to 40 years, I still want the best. And so that's kind of the thing. But I guess probably my most recent big case was the Billy Schmiemer case. He was probably about the definition of serial killer in Dallas. And so we ended up having to try it three times. First case we got a mistrial. Then we tried him 2 more times. He's indicted on 18 capital murders between Dallas County and Collin County. So
Okay. One of your biggest cases.
yeah.
You mentioned, spending time with your clients. I can imagine because, you start spending time not just with the client, but the client's family.
Yeah.
The spouse, the mom, the children, they come into the office and all that. I mean, that has to be rough, a rough deal. But, and as you say, you give your clients your best of your abilities. You want the best for them, the best outcome.
I do.
Regardless, your advice is sound advice, regardless if they hire you or go to the next person. The next lawyer is not gonna be able to tell them nothing different from what you tell them, and so that's which is great, because prayerfully and hopefully, I won't never have to hire you again, and so unless I, get real rough and tough, like, Mr. Dexter give me a parking ticket, you know what I'm saying, and I'm calling you, hey, we got Mr. Dexter behind the camera, he got him a few parking tickets, so, but, with the people out here in our communities, when it comes to this type of, legal, cases, hiring the right attorney is difficult. Tell us the difference. They don't have the money to do it. Tell us about the court-appointed lawyers. It's kind of like you got a bad rap.
They do.
And
I do think that there's some misconceptions regarding court-appointed attorneys. I still take court-appointed cases.
Okay.
And I've seen with my own eyes. I'll take myself out of the equation, but I've seen, even when I was a prosecutor, I've seen some of the best attorneys in the state that are taking court-appointed cases, and the defendant, their family would fire them just because they were court-appointed,
Not knowing.
and then hire somebody that was just awful, just because they hired them.
Wow. Okay.
And that's why, as we spoke earlier, it's about, you need to research your attorney.
Okay.
I know you people throw out names, my attorney's this, and call this, but research.
Okay.
I tell people all the time, not to sound funny, Google.
Yeah. Right.
Like Google.
Right.
You'll see, and call me.
Yeah.
Call me and let's talk.
All right, so Google, know the experience of it. What about knowing your case? What about educating yourself on that case?
Yeah, well, you need to know, when you come in to speak to your attorney, you should at least have a bare bones of knowledge in regards to your case, the penalty range, the reality of it. Like if more than anyone else in the room. I don't mean you personally.
Hey, I'm not offended about that.
I'm talking to what a client, the client knows more than anybody else what they did or did not do.
Right.
And so, that's why, and a lot of folks, they still don't want to admit this. I was like, I'm not saying it, but let's say that you did.
Right.
And I'll say, these are the scenarios.
Yeah.
And then be honest with yourself, be honest with your family, regarding, and understand the risk.
Yeah.
People say, oh, I'm gonna take it to trial, and that's fine. That's another, speaking of that, that's another thing.
Okay.
Most attorneys don't try cases.
Okay. Most attorneys do not. If y'all didn't hear that, most attorneys do not try cases.
They don't want to try cases.
They don't want to try cases.
They are afraid to try cases.
Okay.
So you need to make sure that you have a lawyer who is willing to try a case and has tried cases. What is his trial experience?
Okay.
Don't get discouraged in regards to, people give me a lie. Well, what's your trial percentage?
Right.
Here's the thing, any good attorney, they're gonna have some losses.
Yeah.
They're gonna have convictions because there's gonna be a lot of evidence.
Right.
But ask them to look at how they were respected in the courtroom. you know, I get cases all the time because they see the way that the judges talk to me, the bailiffs speak to me, the prosecutors, the defense attorneys, they just see my persona when I walk into the courtroom. I'm not being arrogant, but I'm confident when I'm in there.
Right.
I know what I'm doing, and more importantly, the prosecutors understand. And that will go into, shoot, this is a little close, so do I wanna risk this with Kobe or not?
Right.
Cause I know he gonna bang it here, so.
It's more harder to paint in the
Right,
courtroom.
so-
That's what you need. You need that attorney that's gonna go hard for you. It's plain and simple.
And that's the thing. So then I get a lot of good deals. I get some dismissals, I get some reductions.
Right.
Because if it's closer, like, well, is it worth it on this? You know, 'cause I know Kobe, but somebody else that either they don't know or they know is not gonna try it, they're gonna press him.
Exactly.
And he's gonna press their client.
Well, guys, I tell you what, we're here with Mr. Kobe Warren with I Got Charge and Warren Healy. Want to say special thank you to Dunkin' Donuts for this morning. We're here at Streetside Classic at our monthly Fort Wealthy Worth podcast show. And as y'all know, we say Fort Wealthy Worth wealthy. It is not about money. It is about God, family, and community. And so, Mr. Warren, we're going to dive back into this. But we know the system, and when I say the system, the prison pipeline.
Yeah,
You know, it's hard to break.
it is.
It's hard to break. One man can't break it. One community can't break it. To be honest, I think it's only gonna get broke when God comes.
Yeah,
You know,
that's probably true.
I never thought I ever be talking about this. Of course, I never thought I'd be doing any of this kind of work. But the prison pipeline system. How can hiring a good attorney? How can y'all be effective? Or how can y'all affect the system when it comes to these young men, young women out here getting these cases, not getting them the time, even if it's a plea, even the reduction.
Yeah.
You know, how can we help these families and these kids by not going to prison?
Well, one, I tell people all the time, whenever the case is resolved and done, and whether, the grievance dismissed or whatever it is, and I tell them, I was like, it was nice to meet you, but I don't ever want to see you again. You know, I don't want you to have to come back to see me again, unless it's to tell me, Mr. Warren, I'm doing great, thank you so much. But to come, I don't want to be hired again. You know, obviously repeat business is good for me financially,
Right.
but I'd much rather you not have to come back. I'd rather they learn the lesson, they educate themselves on the risk factors and how detrimental it was, because it affects, these crimes affects everyone. You know, it doesn't only affect my client, it affects, their parent, it affects their children. It may affect their actual parents, it may affect their siblings. And depending on how serious the crime is, it can affect the whole line of a family, a whole generational.
That's because I know. See, you said that. You said, hey, I don't want to see you again. I don't want your business again. I don't know how many companies don't want repeat customers. I mean, I'm thinking, of course, we're here at Streetside Car Dealership. Car dealership, they want to sell more cars to you. Your kids, the children.
Right.
Restaurants definitely want. Clothing stores want your business. Food, houses. I'm trying to just think. That's something that's powerful. I never thought about that. I never thought about a lawyer saying that to their client. Hey, I don't want to see you again. That's powerful. And I pray that you don't see these kids again. I get not the privilege. I get to see these kids again.
Yeah.
Because they're getting right back locked up.
Yeah.
When I first started this in 2005, one reason was my kid was not coming back. They were like, Mr. Taylor, your kid's not coming back. What else can you do? And I'm like, financial literacy. Well, I'm thinking I'm here with these kids all the time, but for me to start financial literacy, I had to start a nonprofit. And I'm like, why did I start a nonprofit? What is a nonprofit? I'm a truck driver. I'm from the streets in the truck. I'm like, what? Why? I'm here with these kids already. Why do I got to start a nonprofit to do this? But hey, we're not about me on this one. But as y'all noticed, we started a nonprofit to educate our kids. I did stick with it. God had me stick with it. But our kids are our future. Is that old saying?
Absolutely. That's true.
I believe that more companies, more people need to dive into our communities more. love on our kids a little more. That's all they missing.
Yeah.
Is a little of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we don't know who's gonna pour it into. We don't know, cause we don't know who poured it into us. But the seeds start taking root. You know.
Well, like, I will tell you a distinction that, like what you just said there is, you know, who's gonna point who, at least, you know, I know growing up, I know you're a few years older than me, but back in my day, or our day, I'll say, is, you know, who poured into us? Everybody, because the village was actually still there.
There you go.
You know, we had neighbors. I heard you earlier, you know, speaking to Pastor, you talked about Big Mama.
Yeah,
You know, we
yeah,
had,
yeah,
aunts, uncles, you know, just pouring into us. Hey, boy, you know, hey man, stop all the mess. You know, young, come on, like, quit. But now, see, now these children, there's room out of village. And everyone's offended when someone is disciplining their child or speaking to their child or, you know, trying to correct this behavior. They're offended.
Right,
As
right.
opposed to being receptive.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, because we just want the best.
That's it.
That's it. You know, what your kid is doing, your child is doing is wrong. You know it's wrong.
Right. Right.
But you don't want anyone else to take the steps, whether it's a school, whether it's a church, whether, you know, because if you don't correct, because if you're not correcting it, you don't have school correcting it, then the police are correcting.
That's the only way to go. Because it was that, what was that, early 2090s, babies having babies? And that's where I think.
Oh, that was like,
Like
like the mid-80s.
Yeah,
Mid-80s, bro.
yeah, we was kind of part of that, you know what I mean? But, you know, now we start to see the effect of it, you know, it did harm our community. But, you know, when these youth come in or when adults come in to get cases, and they go to their attorney, they hire you. Now I got Mr. Warren and I got Warren and Healy law firm for me. You see my case, how do you pick your defense? How do you pick the strategy to, am I asking you to give out the secrets or anything like that?
Well, I mean,
Okay.
it's really gonna depend on every case is unique.
Mhm.
You know, one, we need to see if there's an affirmative defense, meaning, is there an defense, is there a defense? An affirmative defense means that I did do what they're saying,
Mhm.
but I was the law allows it to be justified by that action. You know,
Right.
it's self-defense in a murder case. You know, was I protecting myself, and in protecting myself, did the law allow me to protect myself in the way that I did? Can they prove this? You know, they have to be able to place my client at whatever scene of the crime they're saying. Can they place you there? Where were you? Do you have anything to corroborate what you're saying? Do they, you know, were the drugs real? You know, is this person credible that's saying you know, this female said that you did this to her? Is she credible? You know, is there any physical evidence? You know, so just a lot of times it's gonna be dependent on the case, and the facts and circumstances that we have.
Well, I tell you what, I Googled something, and I don't know if it's true or not. You gotta help me out.
Okay.
All right, so if you get
Google's always right.
Google's always right. Google's always right. Well, they say that one of the best defense is insanity and intoxication.
No.
That is
absolutely incorrect.
Okay, so if I go do a crime, I start acting crazy, they ain't letting me out. Or if I, you know, the cops come, I got that fifth bottle, start pouring alcohol down my throat, you know, I got some of that P. Diddy. Can I say P. Diddy right now? Are we good, Mr. Doc? If I say P. Diddy right now?
Mhm.
Okay, all right, you know, he in a little trouble right now. I don't know, right?
Yeah.
We want to put that out there, but you know, everybody got some kind of alcohol. You know, we always had pop bottles back in the day, and so, but the intoxication, the insanity, none of that is
So listen to my term here. Let me say.
Okay.
Voluntary intoxication is not a defense.
okay.
Voluntary intoxication is not a defense. Meaning if you get drunk, if you pop pills, if you do a line, you smoke this and you smoke that, and then you commit a crime.
Gotcha.
The fact that you were not saying that you weren't under the influence, you committed the crime, but it is not a defense.
Okay. See, Google forgot to put that volunteer part in front of it. That's what.
Secondly, regarding, and I think there's a misunderstanding regarding like mental insanity and incompetence. Like mental insanity means that the person does not know the difference between right and wrong.
Okay.
And that's a very, very high burden. Like, because as soon as, like, someone can be mentally ill, you know, they can be schizophrenic or bipolar or, you know, any of these diagnoses, but they know the difference between right and wrong. So say, you know, someone walks in here right now and shoots up,
Right.
and then they run out, they hide the gun, they run from the police. So what are they trying to do? Trying to escape from responsibility, right? They knew what they did was wrong.
Exactly.
Now, then they catch him, and, you know, he's eating his foot. And so, yeah, he's obviously mentally ill.
Right.
But at the time of the incident, he knew the difference between right and wrong.
It was, the best one that I heard was the guy, and I'm trying to think, I know I heard it, I did not see it. The guy went into the courtroom and he started eating what looked like his BC, but it was actually a Snicker bar, you know what I'm saying? And so he I don't know if he got off, got his sentence reduced or something, but he was smart.
Yeah.
That was a smart tactic right there, you know what I'm saying?
The thing, like mental, like we spoke about a little bit earlier, you know, mental illness is rampant right now. And I don't know if it's like an actual increase or it's just being diagnosed and recognized. I don't know I don't know which is which. But the problem is that our society doesn't have a place to place the mentally ill and the violent.
Okay.
You know, state hospitals and things like that, they're understaffed, we don't have enough beds. I mean, the wait in the local area between, you know, Dallas County and Tarrant County, the wait for a person who's found to be incompetent, meaning that they don't understand the nature of their offense, you know, the role of their attorney, the role of the judge, the role of the prosecutor, so they don't know what's going on. I'm not saying that they are insane, I'm just saying they're incompetent. So they have to go somewhere to get treated medically, get their chemical balance back together, and then they'll be brought back to, you know, to answer for the charge. The wait to go to these hospitals is over a year.
You got to place him somewhere.
It's over a year. So that means they just wait in the jail for over a year, and they finally get to the hospital. They get to the hospital, they regain themselves normally 3, 4, 6 months. And they come back.
Program.
Yeah, and they come back and they have to answer that charge. And then depending on the nature of the offense, let's say it's a murder. You know, where they just randomly on the elevator stab somebody. Yes, they are mentally ill. But now you're faced with the jury and or the judge is faced with, what do I do with a person who's one that's mentally ill, that won't take the medicine, and is violent?
Right.
And there's no place to put them. I can't just let them back out into the public.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. A lot of people misconceive that if I'm mentally ill, then I can get off. It's almost a lot of times, you know, the term being aggravated back. Because, you know, if you've ever, you know, obviously I deal with mentally ill daily. If you've ever been close in a confined area with someone that's mentally ill, it's unnerving. Like you don't know what this person will do, is capable of doing. You don't know. You might go, oh, I can whoop this dude, but you don't know if pain registers the same way. Like you might be whooping him, but he's continuing to come.
Yeah.
You know, so
I ain't trying to do it.
it's unnerving. And some of these folks are dangerous. So a lot of folks, you know, they miss it. Well, I'm gonna go in and tell them crazy. That may not necessarily help you, brother. It could hurt you.
Right. Well, you know, you mentioned earlier about, you know, when you do get the sentencing and get, you know, locked up, hopefully, well, I'm not gonna say hopefully, not in a mental facility, but if you need that, that's fine. But you wanted to discuss, I know, jury services.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the jury services.
So, you know, it's, you know, I don't know how many juries in my career I've picked. Hundreds, thousands probably.
Okay.
Every time, people are just, they're looking and they're more creative in ways to get off of serving on a jury.
Yes.
People that are in our community, people that look like us, that just are refusing to serve. And it's detrimental to the justice system. Because it's supposed to be a jury of our peers. You know, that's a lot of times people say, this isn't a jury of our peers. But how it works is, beginning of the jury selection, they'll bring in, say it's a murder case, they'll bring in 75 people that can qualify to at least sit on the jury. Doesn't mean they're gonna make it, but at least qualify. So that means that we have to start off with who is going to actually answer that jury summons, who is going to, they receive that summons in the mail, they put it on the calendar, and they show up to the courthouse that day. Let's start there.
Right.
So that's where we have to start. And secondly, when they come up, their qualifications, you know, they'll see, you know, any prior history, is there any crimes of moral turpitude, things like that, that would bar a person from serving, wipes out some of their. And then thirdly, it's once you get into the courtroom, there are other qualifications or disqualifications that will also be applied. And some are kind of, they're looking around and they're watching them, you know, you might take a notes, prosecutor's taking notes, say something, you say, oh, they didn't like that, I'm gonna say that. And they're looking for reasons to get off. And it hurts because now there isn't a jury. You know, it's already known, it's already, you know.
I know looked at it like that.
Yeah, and so they're not there. And I'm not saying, you know, just because, you know, say my client's black and I'm a black attorney, that black jurors don't vote. I'm not saying that, and I don't pick my jurors like that.
Right.
But to have a jury of the peers that represents the community is important because everyone experiences are different. And so they look at that and it's a little bit different than everybody else, and they make that determination and decision whether or not they believe the evidence that's presented.
You know, that, you just do something just totally, I wasn't expecting that. Because, and I never got picked to go to the jury part inside the jury for the finals. You know, but I tell you what, that even when I go there, I answer the call, don't get me wrong, I answer the call. But I'm wishing, and what I gotta say to get out of it.
Yeah.
You know, and now I would say that, you know, if I get called again, you know, I would, I guess, you should wanna be on the jury now.
Yes, you should. It's an experience that I think, I mean, just a lot of people don't have an experience, especially, you know, in our community. For whatever reason, we don't want to serve. And so I hear things like, I can't trust the police and I don't know the system is it. And that may be true, but if you don't qualify yourself right, then it's never gonna change. So.
Man, now I got something else to promote. Jury service.
Please do.
Because I never thought about that, you know. Yeah. I have one of our brothers that works. He just went on a case. It was he actually got picked. So
Okay.
yeah, I think it's 2 weeks so far. You know, it's a big case.
Federal case?
I believe so. He
Okay.
mentioned it. It's here locally, so it's going on. He's part of it, and which is now I'm gonna have to say, man, I'm glad you stepped up to the plate. You know what I'm saying? We need to all step up to the plate a little more on that. Okay, that's a good deal. So now you have your jury selection. You going through your trial. You got your defense pick. You get your punishment out of probation, the jail, and you get out of jail parole. This is my whole thing is to find out how you act when you get out, when you're on parole. I had issues with that because I know when I got out, I got in trouble some more. See, I got in trouble. Tell us, what do they look for besides you doing what you're supposed to do, you know, to not get locked back up? But at the same time, remember, you need a place to stay. You need food in your belly. You need transportation to get to work, try to find a job. You know, is that stacked against? You got all the fees, the drug testing.
This is what
Or is that your area? I'm sorry.
No, this is what I tell my clients at that point. I was like, probation is just a one, is what it is. But it's really just, you're being monitored to do the things that everyone else does without having to be monitored. And I say it's annoying because you're gonna have to report, you're gonna have to provide your analysis, you're gonna have to, you know, pay these fees, things like this. But I tell them there are two main things that you have to do while you're on probation. Everything else kind of works itself out. You do these two main things. One, don't get in trouble.
Okay, right,
That's
right.
the
The obvious.
That's the
Right,
first one.
right.
Don't pick up new cases.
Okay.
Second, you have to show up to probation.
Okay. Show up and don't get in trouble.
Those are to the money, we can deal with the money.
Okay.
If you have a dirty way, if you know, if there's a drug problem or substance abuse issue, we can deal with that also. But if you don't show up, we cannot. There's not a judge in the area that's gonna lock you up for being poor. I promise you. I promise you.
You got.
But I hear that excuse, well, I didn't show up because I didn't have money. There's not a judge in there that's gonna lock you up for being poor. I promise you.
Now, what about the ones that come out? Because I was kind of dumb in this area. Let me throw the money, pay all the money up front, and then I ain't gonna go.
That
didn't work out.
That's not gonna work.
I had Judge Wilson. Yeah, man. Mr. Taylor. Every time I got in trouble, it seems that my court case would be on the Friday. Mr. Taylor, yes, ma'am. Go sit over there. Look me out. Go sit over there. Well, when you go sit over on that bench,
Oh, you know what it is.
yeah, you got a weekend stay, man. You got a free
That's right.
vacation.
That's right.
And I tell you, that happened about, 4 or 5 times.
They should put you in the jury box. If you knew you weren't on the jury box.
Exactly. Yeah, I wasn't on the jury, you know what I'm saying? So, but it made me learn, you know. I tell you what, luckily, you look at experiences from afar. Of course, you made it through, you survived it. but I actually learned some valuable lessons through that, you know. And so, first I learned how to dress when you come to court.
Absolutely.
I tell y'all what, back then, you know, we was wearing gaiters, we starched down, you know, like blue collar shirt.
Yeah.
You might think you clean, you better have a jacket on.
Yeah.
I went in the court, I tell y'all, clean, had my jury on, you know, look on, Miss Taylor, where you at? I'm looking at my turn up in court.
Yeah.
Miss Taylor, go sit over there. I'm like, oh my God. Now that was the first time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm looking at my, what did I do? I got me a nice little steak. Come to find out, he was like, you need to have a suit on next time. I'm like, she wants to see you in a suit.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, why could she have just told me that? You know what I'm saying? I would have found the suit, you know? But it's some valuable lessons. We have to learn how to dress. We can't go in there sagging. We can't go in there. Look at you, look at you.
I mean, it's not as bad as that anymore. We're obviously having to have a suit, but you know, it is to just to come there and you know, don't have a do-rag. You know, don't come
Not a
out
do-rag.
You know, but it's simple things that I when I first my girl, like, I don't like to tell my client this because he doesn't know. But now, if you feel like it's my fault, I don't tell them because they do. I'm like, hey man, let's not smoke weed on the road court until we walk in like this. Let's not do that. You know, but
No hot boxing.
Yeah. You know, or you know, I tell them, I'm like, you don't understand how far. This one's a big one. This is a one to my daughter about this a lot. You have no idea how valuable just respecting other people is, especially in a situation like this. You know, if you come in respectful to the probation officer, respectful to the victims, respectful to the people you come in contact with, that's currency for later. It might not benefit you today,
Right.
but it can benefit you later. You might get that benefit of that. You've always been respectful when you come in. I know I'm going to send this in to the court. I'm not going to do it this time, but hey, let's get ourselves in.
Be respectful.
But if you come in and you got a bad attitude, you sag, you know, you just, no one wants to help you. Because you don't appear that you want to help yourself. You know, so that's what I tell my daughter, you know, old school, you know, just like my daddy was old school, taught me yes or no, sir. And to this day, it's still yes or no, sir. And I tell my daughters, hey, it's yes or no, sir. And, oh, Dad, I said, it is old school. But I said, like, if I mess up, say I miss turning something in, or I'm supposed to be able to take a place, like a judge or a bailiff or a coordinator, they'll call me. Oh, did you know? I'm so sorry. All right, coach, I'll take care of it for you. Little small thing, but if I'm a jerk, like if the attorney's a jerk, see, like, no, I'm gonna forfeit your client's bond.
Right.
And we're gonna do all these other things. So it's all about how you treat people.
Yeah. So you represent yourself well, so your clients got a good reputation before they even go in there.
Absolutely.
You know, they got a better chance.
Absolutely.
You know, our kids are getting out, and I know this is not one of the areas. I just want to mention this right now. One of the issues that we're having, you know, they get out. You've been locked up for a year, 2 years. You getting out without an ID.
Oh, yeah.
This is about the craziest thing. The government got us in there. I ain't gonna say, oh, they ain't having no, but they got them in there. Let me get these folks an ID so they come out and have a better, you know what I'm saying? That's something that troubles me. I've listened to some more people who go down to Austin, who try to fight for these bills to make things happen, you know, and I respect what they're doing, and I can support that, what they're trying to do, because it's making our job a little harder.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't understand why they haven't. I say I don't understand why, but that pipeline pops back up in my head soon.
So I know that when they come out of TDCJ as an adult, they have an ID.
Right. So you're working with that
They have an
16
offender card, right?
Yeah.
But I never really thought about the juveniles coming out without an ID.
No birth certificate, no nothing.
Right.
And so we try to at least get GEDs. It just, they make the job so hard. And you have these people in there, it should be done. You know, definitely should be done. Give them a step up instead of a step down when they come out.
Well, now, I will say, they do have resources, even if they're being held over here at Kimbo, or if they are, you know, in one of the TYC facilities, they do have an opportunity to get their GED.
Right.
I think their diploma, actually. I think they can actually get their diploma.
Right.
But that once again goes into having wise counsel. And like I said, I'm not talking about an attorney, I'm talking about a family member or a mentor, or somebody said, look, young man, anybody, while you're in here, let's not just waste time. Let's not just play football or, you know, do these things or
Yeah,
write
yeah.
raps or whatever, let's at least come out, let's be productive. Either start a trade or get our high school diploma.
They
We're
can
here
do that.
anyway.
Right, right.
Let's start preparing ourselves and take
Reading.
steps.
Read some books.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's one of my things I do not like, but I'm picking it up.
Mhm.
Books are good for you.
Yeah.
You know, so
It's knowledge.
Exactly.
Knowledge is
Exactly. You know, and so that's one of the things that you know, I'm just, if anybody listening, you know, we gotta find a way to get these kids their IDs. And so now this last part we have, it's gonna be the fun part, I think. It's just the how-to parts.
Uh-huh.
You know, the most common defense that, I know it probably goes on the crime, but do you have a most common defense that you use, or is it just depends on the offense?
I mean, the top two are always, it wasn't me.
Okay, that's right.
It just wasn't me.
Okay, okay.
And the other is self-defense.
Okay, okay. Wasn't me, didn't do it.
Yeah, but the wasn't me is all, I mean, here's also another problem, right? It's 2024.
Right.
It is very, very difficult to go somewhere now and not be caught on camera.
Oh, yeah.
It's also very, very difficult. It's just, this is the.
Oh, tracking, yeah.
It's tracks everywhere you go.
Yeah.
And now, you know, like a lot of times I have to point out to the juries, you know, now, what they are able to ping everything is the device.
Mhm.
The device itself. You know,
Exactly.
the state is gonna try to equate the device with you, which isn't a bad, but they have to prove it.
Okay. Right.
But they can say that your device
Mhm.
is at these locations
Yeah.
at this particular time.
Right there with that crime.
Right.
Yeah, but you want that though.
And the vast majority of us, this is witnessed all the time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no doubt.
Because it's a witness in the bathroom, and it's right beside you when you sleep. It is very rare that this is not witness.
You know, I'm gonna take this opportunity. I mentioned to you earlier when we had Pastor Tatum. Pastor Tatum mentioned something about when he started following God's will for his life. You know, he had a decision to make
Yeah.
with the
Yes.
following God,
Yes.
follow, you know, seeking to have his wife. So I'm gonna take this opportunity to say I love you to my wife, right? Because I saw this opportunity because my wife watched Ellen the TV show, all the women shows, you know, and somebody did a crime and they left their phone at home, and when they did the crime, I was at home.
Yeah.
My phone was at home. So just that right there made me register by taking this opportunity. You know, I'm blessed to have the wife that I have. You know, I have taken a separate path in my life right now, working in the community. We didn't see this coming when we got married 15 years ago, you know, and so I just want to say thank you and keep up with your work. Doing all right. So, you know, hey, she's doing all right. You know,
Keep up the good work.
keep up your work. You know what I'm saying? But no, I got a great wife. We're gonna have to go grab some dinner. We're gonna do a barbecue.
Yeah.
We mentioned about doing a round table.
Yeah.
We can do the round table with the wives afterwards or whatever,
Yeah.
and have a little fun. But yeah, man, I got a nice little, my little crazy. So, but yeah, love you and keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. So, all right, well, back to this. All right, so our next thing, we say the most common defense wasn't me, didn't do it. Now, what is the weakest defense? And I know you're pondering on that. It should be an easy question. We just had the NFL draft. So the weakest defense is the Cowboys defense. So I hope y'all got that right there. I had to slide that in there. I hope y'all got that, you know what I'm saying? But,
Listen,
you know, the weakest defense in the playoffs, you know, they just crumble.
aren't you still a Giants fan?
Man, you know I am.
Oh, man, come on. Y'all even have a quarterback?
We do, DJ. Danny Dimes. We got Danny Dimes. Man, you say, see, you know, that's another story. That round table we're gonna get to. We'll start chopping it up about that. But I had to take that shot. You know what I'm saying? It was just too easy. You know what I'm saying? It's like the Mavericks last night, just an easy shot. You know what I'm saying? But no, the weakest defense. The weakest defense.
I mean, so I'll say it like this. So let's say that in a trial situation, in a trial, the client always has the right to testify or not. That decision is up to the client.
Okay.
Regardless of my opinion, what I tell them based on the evidence that they have, based on the information that we have, based on the prior history, based on what I believe that you're going to say, I don't think it's a good idea. If he wants to, he or she wants to, I have to prepare them and present that for them.
But it's not a good idea to get on that stage.
I'm not saying always.
Oh, okay.
But it's gonna be dependent, and that's where it goes back to what we talked about, you know, a little while ago, is knowing and trusting your lawyer.
Okay.
And your lawyer being able to articulate why you should, or why he believes you should or should not take the witness.
Okay.
And also, the person knows themselves, you know, 'cause it's getting up from that defense chair, walking up to that witness, like literally, your wife, you're gonna be speaking about your wife.
Right, right.
And you know, and you also know what you've done, and or didn't do. You also know what you're gonna say. Is it even believable or credible? You know, we tried, on our part now, we tried a case where the client wanted to testify, told me a horrible idea. We did a mock, you know, cross-examination of him, still a horrible idea. Made a record, it was all a horrible idea. What, and make a record means that put some information in front of the judge and on the court reporter, so it was clear. He still wanted to, and it didn't work out.
Right, right.
But then there are some cases where if we're going to go to trial in this case, it only makes sense for us to go to trial if you are going to testify.
Okay, okay.
So it's gonna depend on the case itself. Now, some cases, absolutely, you should not take the witness stand.
Okay.
Others, depending on, the only viable way to get this defense in front of the jury is by the person taking the witness.
Now, we kind of hit on this next question a little bit earlier. The hardest crime to defend, I believe you mentioned crime against children.
Yeah.
I think it was a couple more in that, crime against children, or sexual crimes. It's hard to defend. I think with those crimes, it's also add mental. I think anybody got to be something wrong with you to do harm to kids, you know.
So obviously, you know, we're kind of twofold. Like when we're dealing with a violent offense, elderly or the young. So children or the elderly, because they're by nature they're weaker than the rest of us, and so everyone wants to protect them in whatever kind of scenario. So if we're dealing with a case where they're either, you know, older people have been scammed, or they've been hurt, or they've been murdered, whatever it is, then they'll just make it with it, you know, because the jurors want to protect them, and so they're going to punish. They're going to punish harshly.
See that?
The most, like, you know, the difficult part is, you know, like child molestation, child aggravated sexual assault, child things like that. Because a lot of times there really is no evidence. Like it's simply the child saying this person did these things. Like the vast majority of the cases, there's no DNA, there's no anything to corroborate what this kid is saying. It's just an outcry.
Okay.
And once again, jurors want to protect children. You know, you just in that situation, they want to protect children, and they also want to believe that a child will not lie about something like this.
Right.
And so the first question, even if they don't say it out loud, but the first thing that they're honestly saying is why would this kid lie for me?
Right.
So it just makes those much more challenging.
All right, and so I got a couple more. This right now, when you mentioned earlier with the cases, the plea deals. You know, are the plea deals more in favorable of the prosecutor? Is it for the client? Is there a way?
Well, it's gonna kind of depend in regards to. Sometimes pleas are absolutely necessary.
Okay.
You know, just the risk involved in a trial is way too high.
Okay.
You know, literally, it can be a difference between coming home and not coming.
Right.
Like, I mean, ever. So those pleas can be beneficial to the client, but it may be difficult for the client to see that, because it's still a lot of time. You know, what I have a client do in 2 days or 20 years, I've never used the term it's only or it's just. You know, it's just 5 years. It's only. I never say that, no matter what amount of time it is, because regardless of someone being confined, they're away from their family and their friends. So I never say those things, but sometimes the client has to make a decision like, well, do I take this fight or do I risk getting hurt?
That's I get a nutshell. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that. You know,
But with a reality, like with an attorney to being able to articulate the viability of receiving a much higher sentence in charges, you know, and them understanding, you know, not some that are just saying, trying to scare, you know, as we spoke earlier, know your lawyer.
Right.
Will this lawyer go to trial? Some that won't go to trial because they're gonna make that 30 cents. It's an absolute payment. If you don't,
Yeah.
you're gonna get it, because they don't wanna go to trial. You know, and so, you know, my thing is, I even explain to them, you know, sometimes at nauseam, that as long as you understand the risk.
Right, right.
You know, I have this deal on the table, and I think it's a good deal based on the case. So, and you keep hearing me say these few words, based on evidence.
Right.
What I believe they'll be able to present. Based on those things, and my experience in these things, this is what I believe, and I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm gonna show you why. And I'll tell your family why, and show them why. And if after all that, you still say, hey, no, I don't want that deal, I want to go to trial, that's fine. Now you're ready to rock it with rock. A lot of times, and I tell them this too, I say, look, by the time I finish arguing and closing arguments to the jury, I will have you and your family thinking you're criminal. I will have your family think. And we call it trial fall. You know, the attorneys, we call it trial fall. In the middle of the trial, you've been working on this trial, you have this defense, putting in all this work, and you start to believe. You know, your defense, we do believe. But the evidence is always the evidence, and it's insurmountable.
Okay.
To a certain extent. So then they're convicted, and we come to this time as we're sitting there, you know, my client's sitting there looking shocked face. I'm like, too, like, I just tried this really good case. You know, he's like, oh, you did a really good job.
Yeah, yeah.
But the reality of it is, I told you.
Yeah, yeah.
No, you know, this was the high probability this was going to occur.
Yeah, that probability is simple, you know. But man, I appreciate you coming out. We out here at Streetside Classic. We are at our monthly Fort Wealthy Word podcast show. Go to our website. We want to thank all our sponsors. We want to thank you for tuning in. If you have any family, friends that need any advice from Mr. Warren here, we got Kobe Warren from Warren and Healy. I got charge.com, and you know we're gonna get back. Hey, a lot of stuff. We went over a lot of stuff today, and I know I probably missed something, and that's why I'm gonna ask you. I asked you a lot of things. Is there anything else that I missed, or what would you say to a family out here that's struggling, you know, who needs that attorney, from researching, let me see if I can dial it down.
Yeah.
Research your crime.
Sure.
Research your lawyer, see what the experience, because he might not be that type of lawyer. Research your lawyer, and basically know your crime, you know. Don't do the crime, but in this situation, we already know.
Right.
And educate yourself.
Absolutely.
You know, you don't want to go into a lawyer's office and not know something about your situation. Okay. And so, you know, we appreciate you. I appreciate what you do, and we hopefully our community, our people that we reach, know that once they reach you, they're gonna get a lawyer that's for them and for their family.
Right.
You know.
Yep.
And so IGotCharge.com. You pull them up. They're gonna have all their contact. I believe you got Dallas, Fort Worth.
Yeah, Dallas, Fort Worth, federal, state. You need this, we'll go.
All right. Mr. Cole,
Hey, bro,
thank you, sir.
appreciate
Thank you.
Proud
I know,
of you, man. I appreciate everything you've been doing, man.
man, we just out here just trying to get it. It ain't me. You know me. We'll still be. Oh. Let me see. Is it now? I'm gonna say that for the next one.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, you know me. We'll still be in the driveway. We'll still be in the driveway. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we're gonna say that for the next one. You know, and but man, great times.
Yeah,
But
man,
man,
appreciate it.
nah,
Appreciate
thank you
having
for
me on.
sticking with us, man. You know, doing nonprofit work is slow. It's a grind. You know, Pastor Tatum mentioned that's the same gram, different grind out here. You know, and so, but we ain't stopping. You know, we never have.
Yeah.
You know, that ain't in us.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
So why not grind harder for our community and our people in it? You know what I mean? So I think that's how we built. And we just getting started. I guarantee y'all, God has some plans for us. We about to go out of here and help some families get what they need.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Get what they
Let's
need
do it.
and have some fun. Y'all with us? You don't have a choice. Fort Wealthy Word, God, family, community. Oh. Always come get you a box of Joe. Well, you ain't getting the box. You're going to get you a cup. Caffeine, Classic, and Community here at Streetside Classic. Thank Miss Mary. Let me tell y'all my joke. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Dexter. our Big Papa, Mr. Dexter, having his first daughter next week. She's coming to the world, so
Monday.
he won't be sleeping for a while.
Right.
But I went into Dunkin' Donuts today, and the ladies was working hard. You know, the machines, they were doing it, they were testing everything. And so I said, let me lighten the mood up. So I threw one of my little corny jokes at them, you know. So what do y'all call 2 cows and one is spying on another? 2 cows, one is spying on another. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? A stakeout.
Right. That's
So
it.
you-
We're closing it down.
That's a stakeout, man. You know what I'm saying? So what do police do, lawyers? Stakeout
God.
is all here, right? And you can't get no jokes better than that. For Wealthy Word Podcast Show. Hey, love y'all. Thank y'all for watching. We're gonna keep it rolling for a little bit. We got some couple more people. We want to. Oh, you're not getting on? You dressed for it, man. You're styling today, man. You gotta let the people see the style. Hey, we thank you, Mr. Kobe.
Appreciate it.
We'll chop it up. Let's go get a photo, man, of us in the car.
Okay.
Our little car business.
Be a shout out of the car show.
You ready? You ready? Good. We're gonna take a stroll and take a look at some cars real quick. Come back now. Give me a few minutes.
Is the notary guy coming? That needed
Did he? No, I don't think yet.
Do you need anything notarized?
Not yet.
Okay.
Oh, so let's let y'all know,
Today.
you mentioned about families and, I thought it was at Pastor Taylor about families with, Mr. Dexter Notary and a mediator. So like our, out there in the community, we're gonna get something started on Saturday. If we got issues in the family, come on, let's talk about it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Before
yeah.
we go to court, before we go to all these things, let's discuss it, you know, mediation with, Mr. Dexter.
We're in some alternative dispute resolutions.
Yeah.
You said you are a mediator?
Yeah, I got the
Oh,
certificate.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, well, I need a car.
Yeah. I don't have one on.
Well, then, just shoot me an
Man,
email.
yeah, I'm certified.
Okay.
Or we call ourselves
Yeah.
qualified.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, let's take a look at some cars.
Okay, yeah.
We'll come back.
I'm gonna do some, I get to the point where I'm like, I get with lawyers and stuff, I'm like, I'm gonna do mediation. And I never follow through, or
So
never stay
mediation
on.
is just, you're trying to avoid.
It's like if you get a divorce, and you don't wanna go to court, and you got split your assets. I'm a third party, facilitator of split. Yeah, have you seen Wedding Crashers? Yeah, so like the first scene, it's their mediators, and they're mediating a divorce.
Okay,
So,
so you're
and-
trying to keep things calm and just.
It's like keep it out of court, keep the,
Keep it out
so you don't have to
okay.
pay the expenses and stuff.
Okay.
A lot of justices of the peace will look at cases and like try to resolve this in mediation. Because it's either y'all figure it out yourselves in mediation, or I'm gonna figure it out.
Okay.
Mhm.
Alright. How long you done that?
Man, I got my certificate like 5-6 years ago, and I almost worked for the Justice of Peace or Judge or J.P. Woodard, but then there was like they're just starting the program. Is like, wow, there's actually rules that you have to have. Each mediator has to have so much square footage to have their mediations in, and they didn't have enough. I was like the third one. It's like, we couldn't fit you in, and so I was like, well, damn. But
Led you down a different road.
right, and they're like small. Usually, it's like small credit card debts, or credit card companies, or if you got auto companies.
So it's
trying
not,
to go to
it's,
people for-
it's not just.
not just divorce.
It's all kinds of.
It's like small monetary claims.
Okay.
You can have like renters versus the landlord.
Okay.
Anything, yeah. I'm really just there like, okay, so he said this. What do you think? And then I go back and it's like, well, they said this.
Do you do it in the same room, or do you like do it in
In
this room and
Texas-
then you have to go to another room?
Texas does it where you have caucuses, so you're in different rooms, and the mediator goes back and forth. Other places, other states, you can have it all in the same room. It's just there's more chance for emotions to flare, the yelling, or one person kind of dominating all the time. And I, as the mediator, have to make sure each party has the same amount of time.
I've heard the word, but I always just assumed it was just a lawyer.
Right.
I didn't know it was a position, an actual thing.
I got, so for my credits in college, I got the certificate instead of doing like, physical education or something. Like, the extra stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I just did, there's a negotiation, mediation, and something else.
That's cool.
So I was like, got a certificate along with my degree. So that's cool. Yeah.
So you just work for people? You have your
Yeah.
own?
Yeah.
own work for a company?
I can go, pretty much I can go to lawyers and they can send cases to me. I go to justice of the peace and they send it, or I can actually go to the courthouses and they usually have a mediation center where they have mediators on staff. And then there's places all over that you can do it pro bono. You know, you just go in and you resolve cases. Yeah, usually like for the new mediators, you have to usually find an organization where you can first shadow mediators, and then you help, you kind of do it for free, and then you move on. But at UNT, where I got it, I got to do all that. Through it. Like they set me up with someone to shadow. I had to go to so many, like to sit in court cases.
So many hours and stuff like that.
And yeah, it was like I just had to go to a random court cases and just sit and watch. And it's simple, not criminal.
You did.
It's fun, you know. You can read a book that says like getting the yes, getting to yes.
I couldn't do the sitting in the courtroom. It makes me nervous.
Oh yeah, that's always my job, to try and keep you out of there.
Well, I was attempting to adopt my daughter, and I had all the paperwork and everything, and people were helping me do it. They were telling me, you don't need this, you don't need that, just go to the judge, get this signed off. Go to the judge, and no, you don't get this, and this, and this, and this. All the stuff they told me I didn't need.
Right.
And they're like, these just mean, quickly. And then I sent it off. Birth father had to have representation. Don't know who he is. But we sent it to the lawyer, his lawyer that would represent him. And never got called on it. Went a couple of contracts, we never remember back. Just lapsed. Wait till she turns 18. Understand that she was
Well, which is like, I'm an adult now, I choose.
I choose him. We're just gonna wait. She's got 3 more years.
Man, just
Do it that way.
that's how the system is, like, it all depends on what judge you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not that family, it's like, you got, bad luck, you got this judge, he's gonna throw the book in.
Yeah. It kind of seems that's kind of like how he was. He made me very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm the only dad she's used. She was 2. She calls me dad.
Right.
So
Yeah, what's the problem?
there's no father on the birth certificate, nothing.
Right, just write your name in.
Yeah. And I was like, all right. And we went through it. We spent a lot of money trying to get all through. And my wife said, down. She can keep her current last name until she graduates. Because everybody knows her by that name. So, obviously, we're going there now.
Yeah. And, I mean, you're married, right? And so it's like, you claim as independent and everything.
We've been married for 10 years. Like,
So it's like, I guess it only changes that some people.
that's all it was. It was a legal.
Yeah, it's like, nothing's gonna change.
Yeah. The biggest reason I want to do it is if something happens to me, her legally being my daughter, everything goes to her.
Oh, yeah.
But her being my stepchild, even though I the law.
So the government said, oh, we have to process this and we're gonna take a percentage of it because we have to process it.
That's why I didn't want that. On her days, happened to be a wife, she didn't have a problem. It was her. All those legalities of it.
Maybe I can pull that flag. And, oh yeah, I just grew up with a computer. And, there you go. Zoom in. it was an actual one, and they just took away the location. Now they just come in and do an exhibit at other museums.
Was it down by like?
It was in the stockyards, so it's like right, so if you're leaving the stockyards towards downtown, it's like right before that bridge.
Okay.
That goes to the downtown, there, yeah, and it was really cool, because I worked on that and a whole bunch of other stuff, marketing stuff, so I learned, how to make flyers, for the promoting stuff.
So you've been Fort Worth your whole life?
Yeah, Springtown, I grew up in Springtown.
I do. First 10 years of my life, I was in North Richland Hills, and then the rest I grew up in Atlanta.
Yeah, I think we want to get some, we can't afford it, or Springtown.
Yeah, North Springtown, Weatherford, all those guys were our rivals. At least you were an actual thing. You were the Bearcats. Like, we don't get you don't do that.
You know, what kind of years did you have?
Those cat, they look like us. Look like a bobcat.
That's a nice ring together.
Yeah, it sounded nice. I was there when they won their first state title, back when they were racing. They were a big program. I think they won like 10 straight community state titles. Got a farm up community. I was happy. This is expecting more.
Yeah, you know, like I said, in the summer, that was kind of, it's really just kind of opportunities, if you have some, like I said, I'll talk to people out there, it's kind of good for advice or, encourage,
I thought what I do is, I throw some, I'll get some events, say, these are places where we can, we'll make it happen. Oh yeah, no doubt, man, we just try to put in work, man, one day at a time. Yeah. And like I said, we definitely need, but it's fun, I mean, it's seeing kids, knowing what's going to happen down the road.
Yeah.
You kind of see,
Yeah.
we won't save the kids, though.
Yeah, no, that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Let's take a picture,
Oh, yeah.
come on.
Got it.
Thanks, sir. Thanks, sir.
Appreciate it. Congrats, man, good meeting you.
Man,
Sir,
thank you,
sir.
man. Yeah,
He's
and
the
I'll,
one
I'll
to
be
be putting
sending
you
an
out there on the
email.
market.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Please do, we can definitely
Yeah, someone else you can.
use some of that.
And, you got 500 business cards.
No.
You the one told me about putting them in the car.
I know.
See? You know
I
what I'm
usually
saying?
have them in my jacket pockets.
Hey,
all
take
of them. And I actually have like a mediation card and a tax repair card.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a man of many hats.
Good.
Many freelancing jobs.
Hey, well, with that first kid comes another, then, so you're gonna need all that.
Right? Oh, go back door.
Yeah,
Back
man.
door.
All those side hustles. My next one's gonna be mowing lawns.
Hey, whatever it takes, come on,
You get more kids, you put them out there with you.
Yeah.
So I got the job.
You get a curve.
Let's see, I'm on the way to a soccer game right now.
All right,
Let's see, bro. Thanks, y'all.
Cool. Y'all have 14% of battery
Okay.
time left.
Okay.
Y'all can jump right in there, talk about the,
You want to do some action? You wanna-
or just do a quick 10-second promote the car show.
All right, let's do it. Good one, man. All right, May 25th?
25th, less than a month.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and the scholarships. I'm gonna go ahead and mention the scholarships. I was gonna wait so I think we're live right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and mention. We're gonna go ahead and give out the scholarships at the show. So,
Okay.
remember I told you I want to put the flyer out until I got the confirmation.
Right.
Yeah, we looked at the flyer too.
Yeah, he showed it. He showed it. Tell me when we're ready.
You're in.
All right, hey, good morning, good morning. Hey, we're here at Streetside Classic for our monthly podcast, Fort Wealthy Worth podcast show. Thank you guys for tuning in. And we're getting ready, about to talk about car show coming up. Sure. And we're excited. We're going to be doing the scholarship that day. I know we're gonna redo the flyer, but tell me real quick, we're not gonna be long. But you tell me about the purpose of it.
So the purpose behind it is we're raising money for our veterans, specifically Gallant Feud, which helps veterans kind of reacclimate to civilian life who might struggle with it. So 100% of the proceeds from the car show goes to them. We'll have a couple auction items, with everything around that. And we do that because my brother-in-law, who the car club is named after, AWOL, is one of his biggest passions was caring for our veterans, and making sure that they were good and had what they needed because of everything they had done for us. So we're trying to get back to them.
Right. And so now, tell me about tables, booths, and people come sign up, vendors?
Yeah, if there's a vendor that out there wants to be part of it, absolutely, they can come in.
All right, so this is the first, second item.
This is the second one.
Yeah.
The first one we did at a high school, and we learned a lot from that one. So we teamed up with Street Side Classics to come here and do it here. A little better location with you guys along the way. We teamed up with you guys, and just trying to get back to community.
And also y'all have a coffee.
We have a caffeine and gasoline, which is the last Sunday of every month. We meet up at Just Love Coffee up off 35 in Fort Worth.
Okay.
And every month we spotlight a charity that we try to give back. Have people come out, anyone that wants to bring their car or just anyone in general wants to come out, bring a donated item. This month we're doing the community storehouse.
Okay.
And they get to help kids who lower income, who might be struggling. They provide food and stuff for them so they can focus on school.
Right.
And not have to worry about the essentials.
Okay. The basic needs that they have.
Yeah. So
All right, well, let's, we'll get Mr. Dexter to get a month for us so we can work, we work with some kids. I'll let Mr. Dexter handle that, and we'll pick us a month out there, see if we can get some people out there, and going to support our youth in the city. So hey, man, I am excited about it.
Less than a month.
Yeah, less than a month, and we'll be right here in the back. We'll be doing our podcast show that day. So come on out, have some fun. Bring your car, bring your daily driver, and let's talk about that. So
bring anything you want. We'll have almost 30 awards. We have a youth award for the TFT kids.
Right.
We got a Veterans Pick Award. We have top 20 picks.
Okay.
So there's a lot of chances to show off your car and win something.
All right. We're gonna be also doing some raffle for to raise some funds, some gaming tables. So that's something we was gonna talk about, but I think it was kind of final now, Mr. Dexter.
The desk. Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
gaming desks.
The gaming desk, yeah,
Yeah,
gaming desk, so.
the ones with the hole in it for you to put your cords in.
Yeah, everything, yeah. They was, man, NFL football player, Rappaport, Brian Rappaport. It was his gaming they donated to us the remainder from one of his exhibits. So it has a little NFL history with them. And so we might have to get some printed out to show people about it. So we'll do something like that. And we'll be out here having a little fun. You know what I'm saying?
It's all done.
Ready? All right. Hey guys, thank y'all for tuning in. Fort Worth to Work podcast show. Thank you again for Dunkin' Donuts and Street Side Classic. Go to fortwealthywork.org or tftcommunity.org to check out our other sponsors. Just one more nugget. We're gonna be having our classes, our automotive classes come up. And so the great news about it, LeDuc Transmission, they fixed our transmission. They had to send it out all the way to Detroit. But it's back here getting prepared. So we're gonna have a dune buggy at the show.
Awesome.
So our youth that's what we're gonna be representing out here. So it's gonna be exciting. And that's the automobile that we're gonna be doing our classes over. And so it's gonna be pretty exciting. I'm ready for the summer, man. I'm ready, man. Let's do something. Hey, thank you guys. Y'all have a blessed weekend. Don't forget to go to church tomorrow or watch church, or guess what? Pray where you at. Y'all stay blessed. Thank you. Yeah, so the dune buggy should be fixed, man, in a couple of weeks and get it all registered up, and so it's gonna be pretty cool.
So I'm glad they're bringing something up.
it's been a slow process, but everything is if it's good, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah,
I
definitely.
was gonna ask you, and you're working on C10 too.
Yes.
So, who owns the C10? What happens after it's?
The C10 is on TFT.
Oh,
So let me tell you,